Ennis, as we come down, again, only two wrestlers in the 3A division. Of course, one from Delta, that's Ben Kirk, and the other is Marie Salinas from Eielson. And they're quite spread out. One's in the 119-pound class, and Salinas in the 160-pound class.
That's right. Now, I talked with Ben Kirk from Delta at 119, and earlier this year, he's gonna face from the Kiski, Chris Parker. And he met Chris earlier this year. And he lost 9-4, but I talked with the coach, and they said that match was early in the season, and Ben Kirk wasn't up to his form, and they really expect a turnaround tonight.
Now, these kids change so much as the season builds. They're young, their bodies are changing, their strength, those skills honed. Really, it's very hard to predict an outcome based on what we've seen before.
That's right, and in fact, I mean, years ago, I won my state championship, the same thing, lost in the season, learned from that lesson, and turn around and won in the state finals.
And all the focus and intensity, of course, comes into play. This is the biggest crowd most of these kids have ever wrestled in front of. It's pressure, and just the fact that it is a state championship makes quite a difference.
Exactly. Now, I also talked to Maurice Salinas from Eielson. Now, he had an upset last night. It was quite a match, and he upset the number one ranked wrestler coming in here in the 160-pound weight class, John Kasich. So he's going to face Joe Eastman from Seward. And although Morris was telling me he's focused and tense, he said I was nervous all day today. But he seems so relaxed.
Normal reaction. Let's go back a little bit, Gary. You've been watching both throughout the season and through the regionals and state tournament to this point. Matches that particularly stood out, action you were particularly impressed with from anybody.
Well, for this season, or this tournament.
Wherever you want to go, Mr. Ennis.
Well, I was impressed in the 3A group in the 130-pound class last night because it's what we've got tonight is the number 3 seed or the number 3 ranked and number 4 ranked wrestlers. They both had to upset top seeds to get in, and that's Aaron Bates from Houston and Earl Samuel Dutcher. So I was impressed with that. Now, I've got to mention in the 4A school out of Anchorage is Jason Cooley of Skyview. He's ranked 3rd in the nation.
You were telling me this is quite a kid.
Right, he finished 3rd in the Nationals just a few weeks ago. And of course, he's a defending state champ and regional champ. In fact, he's the first 4-time regional champion for service. So he's good. And I guess we should talk about our 4A local wrestlers.
I was just going to say, Jason Binder is a kid I've seen wrestle twice. Both times very much in control of his matches. Strong, well-skilled, really a top wrestler.
He is. I don't know, the word cool comes to mind. He's going to be taking on a tough opponent, Chad Benson from Skyview. And then, of course, I don't know, the lower weight classes at Lathrop always seem to do well. And Leon Baker, he's going to be at the 112. And he's going to be facing Jody Bowden from Bartlett. So I think Lathrop will do well. And then, of course, moving to West Valley.
Gary, as they introduce the wrestlers right now, let's talk a little about, you were a state champion. At this point, before you got ready to go, let's say you're 15, 20, 30 minutes away from your match, were the guts tightening? What exactly was your reaction at this point?
What most wrestlers are doing is drawing inner strength and inner focus on the job that's going to come at hand. We call it psyching up for the match. And there's also a lot of head games going on back and forth. I talked to Bob Hawkins, the father and assistant coach at West Valley, and of course his son Devin is going to wrestle in the 119-pound class. Devin lost earlier to Sam Carenza from Skyview at the Skyview Invitational. But Bob said, Devin's out there, he's getting focused, psyched, and he's putting a head game on Sam, and Bob says, I think Devin's going to win tonight.
I think wrestling fans know the amount the mental side that goes into this. Certainly physical fitness, skills, training play a large part, but I don't know any other sport. I participated in quite a few in high school and college, and I don't know any where it's really as intense as wrestling becomes.
Right, and of course at the finals, most wrestlers share equal skills. I mean, you have some better than others, but most are equally skilled, they have equal stamina. So what comes tonight is pure mental and concentration and not making a mistake. A mistake can kill you. very quickly in the state
And
tournament.
that's where the nerves come into play in this sort of situation. One of the wrestlers yesterday talked about it. It's easy to get out on the mat, be intimidated by the situation in the crowd, lose your focus, and it's over real fast.
Right, in just one blink of an eye, and you're flat on your back on the mat, not knowing what hit you. So, anyway, I'm just so excited right now. I'm ready to get out there and wrestle a hard 8 seconds. That's about as fast as long as I can.
You and I can go both that long. Well, we're just about done with the introductions.
All right, and our coverage of our ASAA Wrestling Championship will continue in just 2 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, your championship wrestlers.
That was good.
Good job. Yeah, well. I could hear myself that time. Makes such a difference when you can hear yourself talk.
That'd be good with the lights coming on. Presentation of our colors by the Malamute Battalion Color Guard of the Lathrop High School Junior ROTC. And for the singing of Alaska's Flag.
Space. PTI offers a wide variety of products and services from custom calling features such as call waiting to PTI's WireGuard, which protects you from the costs associated with inside wiring repairs in your home. Think PTI for all your telecommunication needs. Call PTI today at 1-800-478-7121.
The members of the Education Support Staff Association are committed to providing a positive learning environment in our schools. Every day, members of the Education Support Staff Association are working to provide conditions that promote learning and help our youth prepare for the challenges of a quickly changing future. On the playing field, Education Support Staff members are teaching sportsmanship, teamwork, and goal setting. The Education Support Staff Association, working today for a better tomorrow, and happy to help provide coverage of youth sports on AM 970, the news station.
Old Taylor Chevron's a place to go for friendly, old-fashioned service. But that doesn't mean that they're not state-of-the-art for automotive technology. From computerized engine diagnostics and wheel balancing to full service and self-service gas, including 24-hour credit card service. The place to stop is Gold Taylor Chevron. They've also got average tires and batteries, all the automotive accessories you'll need, and some of the nicest people in town. Don't forget towing. When you need it moved, call Gold Taylor Chevron. At the corner of 8th and Cushman, it's Gold Taylor Chevron.
If you need commercial or retail space for your business, call the commercial real estate specialists at Tom Roberts Realty. They have many great locations available in a variety of price ranges. If you want to lease, buy, or sell business property, call Tom or Chad Roberts at Tom Roberts Realty.
Mats, the 1, 2, 3A mat off to our left, and 4A to our right.
School Activities Association. These rules provide for fair play and good sportsmanship among wrestlers and coaches. Since booing and
And you
cheering
can see across the way as we're getting ready to go, they are bringing out the referees now.
The athletes and coaches
And we have a ton of excellent referees from throughout the state of Alaska that will be working this match this evening.
Actually, these are all selected as they go through the tournament, and will be varying referees and officials as the tournament progresses. But our officials tonight include Bruce Merritt, Tom Vania, Bill Duffield, Dennis Rich, Vern Delaney, Darrell Borland, Tim Howard, Paul Soriano, Mike Vania, and Joel Silverthorne. Two officials working each match as we get things underway on the 4A side. Gary, who's out there?
But on the 4A side, we've got Zeb Hutchison from Skyview taking on Jesse Brock from Wasilla. So last week, Brock defeated Hutchison 5-4, so this should be an interesting match. Skyview should be the blue and black colors, and that's the 4A match. And of course, in the 3A side, we've got two-time defending state champion J.R. Dahl from Dillingham taking on Mike Langley from Bethel.
It's quite an accomplishment on either side, 3A or 4A, to be able to repeat twice and go for a third time in high school is really impressive.
Unbelievable, and in fact, of course, for Dillingham, no other Dillingham wrestler has ever won or had the opportunity to win 3 straight. So just 3 states unheard of. And
really a record setter at that. Now, this is the lighter weight. We sort of balance this as we go through the evening. We'll be seeing at this size speed and skill. Later, strength and skill are the heavyweights trademarks, but a lot of fast action in the lighter weight matches.
Yeah, you'll see it almost lightning paced, I like to call it. But, you know, surprisingly in the heavier weights, how compact and slim they appear today than when you and I wrestled.
Yeah, I remember Chris, I can't think of the guy's last name out of Iowa State, was the last big heavyweight that I can recall. 400 some pounds, yeah. Shortly after that, they changed it, and you don't see those mountain men wrestling any longer, which is a good thing from a health standpoint, if nothing else.
I think so.
No points scored on either match so far. We're in the first period. This is where both wrestlers begin upright, and the object, of course, is to take the other guy down. Pretty good action, a lot of shooting and upper body sparring, but as you said, equal skill to at least apparent to this point, Gary.
Yeah, and of course our viewers are seeing the Wasilla-Skyview match, and interesting colors for Wasilla. I really like their uniform. It stands out with the sort of, I'd call that orange and black stripes. But yeah, they're tying up in the center of the match, and of course we should have a very interesting match since it was a 1-point decision last week.
The transmitter's off.
And on the 3-8 match, as we're watching the 4-8 right now, we're J.R. Dahl of Dillingham and Jack Kochak of Unlickley, rather Dahl of Dillingham and Mike Langley of Bethel on the 3-8 map. Again, combined for the championship, they'll be David Sandstrom of Bartlett and Jeremy Volstad of Valdez. Got Mike Langley of Bethel, and that's the action in the 3-8 match.
Skyview, of course, has the opportunity here to widen their lead in the 4A team standings. 4 points to the tournament champion in each weight class, so they can pull further ahead. And as we mentioned, they've got 6 kids in the finals tonight. It wasn't too long ago. I think 2 years ago we did the state championship. East was the tournament champion. Had nobody in the finals. You can do it without getting kids up here, but this is probably the more accepted way, and it's always seemed a lot better to me.
I agree.
You ought to have a couple of state titleists on a state championship team.
Right, and it's interesting watching the subtle moves of each wrestler. You can see the Wasilla wrestler using a whizzer to keep his Skyview opponent from gaining control, and it's those subtle moves of touch and feel, maybe kinetics you might want to call it, that makes a great wrestler.
I'm sure I don't know the history on these guys, Gary, but I'm sure they've wrestled before. They're both down in the Anchorage area. And I'm sure they faced each other sometime during their high school career. We've got our first points awarded.
Right, it was, of course there was an escape and now a takedown by Skyview, so just a 1-point separation here, which is no surprise.
It's going to stay tight. And we are having a small problem on our radio side of the broadcast. We'll get that up and running. In the meantime, we're continuing with coverage on the Alaskan Cable Network. How far into? We're 25 seconds remaining in the first period on the 4A first match.
Okay, and now we're back on our simulcast with AM 970, the news station. And currently in the championship on the 3A side, we're looking at J.R. Dahl out of Dillingham and Mike Langley out of Bethel. Right now you're looking at the 4A wrestlers on the mat, and they have now 6 seconds left to go in the second period.
To give you an idea of how our format's going to progress tonight, we'll focus on every match in which we've got a local wrestler. Unfortunately, there's only 5 of those combined on the 3 and 4A side. We'll stay with those matches throughout. Otherwise, we'll focus on where we think the best action is. And in this case, we're just taking an arbitrary shot and saying the 4A is where it's going to be.
Well, of course, and no surprise, J.R. Doyle has his opponent on the back and has just gotten a fall, or that's called a pin, and has three-time state champion.
1, 2, 3A and 103.
That is a quick pin in a state
champion,
championship match.
J.R.
It
Doyle
happens
from
occasionally,
Gillingham.
but it's much more common to see all 3 periods completed in a state tournament final.
Right.
And we're
That
gonna
kid is
hold
quite a
on to
wrestler.
112
Of course,
until
J.R. just is a notch above.
In the meantime, our 4A action continues. We're into the second period. Score is 3-2, and 3 being our Skyview wrestler, so he's a point up on the Wasilla opponent with 1:36 to go. Both wrestlers in the upright position.
Yeah, that's sort of a reverse since Brock from Wasilla won last week and came in here number 1 seeded in Region 3. So now he's carrying a 1-point lead.
That's why it's always so difficult to predict what's going to happen in any sports event, but I think in wrestling more than any other, these kids, as we have been talking, are relatively close all throughout the season, and it really is a question of who responds best to the pressure as we come down to the finals in this sort of situation.
Right now we're just about down to 1 minute in the third period, so 1-point lead. Anything can happen, as you can see out on the map right now.
In tight, almost got the takedown.
Right, Skyview is desperately trying to hang on, got in the crease to keep Wasilla from getting the advantage.
The question that we're always looking for in wrestling is control, where the control is and who's got it. It can appear now it's we've got 2 points awarded for the takedown, and it goes to Skyview, which 15 seconds ago you wouldn't have thought.
Yep, Zeb Hutchison's doing well now. Wasilla is struggling to get up to his feet. Jesse is a good wrestler, trying to gain a neutral position. If he can do that in the next 20 seconds, can get 1 point and score a quick takedown, we'll go into overtime.
We've got just 17 seconds to go here. I'm not sure. I think the call was just a stalemated position as the wrestlers move out to the center of the mat. It's going to take a fast move here to get things going, and he tries one.
Tries a forward sit, but so far countered very well with Skyview's wrestler Zeb Hutchison.
Out on the leg, trying for the reversal. That's not going to give him enough points in the 2 seconds remaining. We've got our first state titleist on the 4A side, Zeb Hutchison from Skyview, taking the 103-pound title this year. Skyview's got quite a team this season.
Pretty solid team, done well all season long. They came in here ranked number 1.
Actually, one was Skyview. Lathrop was third. Who was second coming in, Gary?
Palmer was depending on which poll, out of the home and news coaches poll, Palmer was ranked second. Of course, they put all the schools in here, but the big school, Palmer was ranked second. And
Service and Lathrop, Service and Report, depending on who you were listening to.
We've got action here on the 3A mat. It was Sean Jerko of Nikiski and Ricky Roberts of Bethel. And again, this is in the 112-pound bracket.
And
right up there, no score with 1:51 left to go in the first period.
We've got our first local wrestlers tonight. We are on the 112-pound weight bracket. Leon Baker from Lathrop, our first interior Alaska wrestler in the finals. He's facing off against Joey Bodewin from Bartlett. And Gary, what do we know about these guys?
Well, of course, Leon Baker was our Region 1 champion last week. He pinned Stalder of West Valley. He's going to go against Joey, who was Region 4 champion, but he won Region 4 by default.
And quick action again. This is still down in the lighter weights where speed and quickness are such a big factor in how the match comes along.
In fact, while we were looking, we saw a takedown by Bartlett against Leon, and then the Bartlett wrestler Joey just let Leon up.
Well, we got another one now. Leon's got his first takedown with 2 points. That puts him on top 3-2. This one's going to go.
Good quick match here. It's been a good solid match. Good skilled wrestlers, both schools.
Leon appears to have a height advantage in this match. Sometimes that plays, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see how this goes along. Leon riding out well. We've talked about this in past years. No riding time awarded in high school wrestling as there is in college wrestling. Stalling can become a factor. We'll talk more about that as we move through the evening.
Right. Now we got some more points.
We got a reversal.
Yep.
And that's going to reverse the score. So that puts Joey Bodwin from Bartlett in control of the match by 1 point, 4-3, with 35 seconds to go in the first period.
Leon won last night by pinning Clarence Lingle from Wasilla, so that's how Leon got in here with a pin, a strong showing last night. And, of course, Joey pinned Jade Eckel from Palmer. So two good, solid wrestlers, and the score shows it with 4-3 right now.
And it can happen so quickly in these early round matches in the lighter weight classes. It's real easy to get flipped and suddenly find yourself out of this whole thing.
Right, and what you're seeing right now is Joey trying to work in some leg rides, get some single or double leg rides, and trying to flatten out Leon. And then Leon's job is to defend against that and not get put on his back.
The team point standing, again, Lathrop is currently in 5th place with 103 points. Above them, Kodiak 103.5, Palmer 105, and Service up at 117. If Lathrop wants to take a shot at moving into 4th or 3rd place, they've got to have this match. So the pressure is on, Leon.
Now, Leon tried an interesting roll, sort of a variation of the Granby roll, where he rolled over his shoulders, but Joey just kept rolling with him and ended up basically in the same position.
And that ends the first period. The second one will begin. Leon's going to be on top as we kick this one off.
Well, Leon's mission will be to drive Joey to the mat and get his shoulders exposed to the mat and get either 2 or 3 point near fall points or pin him.
What's we often see this, Gary, and we're seeing it here as the second period starts. There's always a question of what position you have to be in on top to start the match. What are the discussions about?
Well, of course, they'll flip a coin, and each wrestler will, one of the wrestlers will decide where his strength is, how it's easiest to score points, or it's really a strategic move. I always wanted to be on top in the second period, simply because I wanted to be on bottom third, because it seemed easier to score with an escape. And of course, what they do is there's certain ways they have to line up. There's only 2 ways to line up in wrestling. There's an optional style, and then of course Leon's doing the traditional method. He can do it. He can get on top on either side, but the ref's just watching to make sure no wrestler gets an unfair advantage on the other.
And again, the psychology comes into play as these things happen. Joey's up, and they give him the escape.
So now it's 5-3. It should be. Yep.
It is. And Leon's got to work. He shoots in immediately to get a leg, but
he's got
in control.
Good power half Nelson there to put.
Trying to work around behind.
Put Leon's head down. You can see that's a sort of, we call that a power half Nelson he's got on him. Now he's in a wizard, Joey is, and Leon's hanging in there trying to get a 2-point reversal.
He's got to get himself around behind, and they're going to call it a stalemate.
Yeah, basically.
And start him off again.
Put them both in the neutral position.
And again, Leon in quick on the leg.
Right. Good.
He's got it this time.
Good takedown. Went in for
a solid shot.
Good single leg, turned to a double leg, and put Joey right on down. Now the score's tied.
We are starting all over again with 48 seconds remaining in the second period of our 112-pound state championship match.
And it's an exciting match. Tied. You couldn't ask for anything better. And, of course, for our 3A schools, McKiskey's doing quite well, leading 5-0. No surprise over there. McKiskey's picked the win.
Quite a powerhouse school coming out of the small groups where it's really a lot tougher to build a team and put it together. McKiskey's really made a dynasty down there.
Right, and that's Sean Jurko. He was ranked #1 coming in, so no surprise on the small schools.
And we've got an escape. I think Leon just let him out.
Yeah, that's a good strategic move. Leon just didn't want to expose himself, so when it got a little touchy there, he let Bowden up.
And, of course, when you feel you can shoot takedowns and you can get them when you want to get them, and he got the last one solid, it's to your advantage. You get 2 points for the takedown, 1 for the escape. So you can do that over and over again, release the guy, and continue to build your lead.
Right. Yeah, you can see him get in behind him with that takedown.
And there it is again.
So good strategic wrestling on Leon Baker's part.
He pulls in the leg and gets the control. 2 points. He's up 7-6 as we begin the third period.
We might just see this strategy in this third period. Let him up, take him down.
There used to be any number of guys who really specialize in takedowns, and that alone can win you the great majority of the matches you're going to face.
Well, match last night, I saw the opponent do it all night long and get a 15-point lead and just win by technical foul.
Leon's down low again, going for the leg. He really likes that shot in tight.
Right.
Tied up this time pretty well by Joey Bodwin from Bartlett.
Interesting move. Joey let Leon up. Now it's a 2-point lead, 8-6. You get a 1 point if for an escape, you call it, when you can get to the neutral position.
And 2 points for the young man from Bartlett. That ties it up once again.
Right, evidently that's reverse strategy. We saw just the opposite strategy last period. Now Joey did it this period, and now we've tied with a minute 23.
As you mentioned, we're seeing really very equal skill levels in this 112-pound match. We've got 1:17 to go. This one really could easily head into overtime.
Right, if we go into overtime, what we should have is a 2-minute overtime and then a 30-second double overtime. If we go into overtime now, the first overtime, the first person scores will win the match.
And that's particularly exciting when you're talking state titles on the line out here.
Or heart-rending.
Now, Gary, with a minute left in the third period, you said in the second period that you wanted to start on top. But how about in this situation with a minute left to go? You're tied.
I want to be right on the bottom, right where Leon is. Now I've got 1 point now because Joey let me up.
Now that's a really surprising move with this time left. We got a release, which puts Leon from Lathrop in the lead by 1 point.
Well, what Joey's trying to do is to wizard that arm and heist that hip and leg.
And he loses it.
He did.
2 points for the takedown. That goes to Baker from Lathrop.
11-8
Puts him up 11-8 with under a minute to go. The best laid plans of mice and men. Aft gang ugly.
But Bowden's trying to kick out those hips and get a reversal, which would make it 10-11. And I think
he's close. He's real close. He's got to get that leg out from under.
Yeah, Leon's got that leg blocked. The ref's not giving points yet. So that's good for us.
Coaches are up there, excited. Coach Ritchie on the side, biding his time. Leon's just got to hang in there for another 14 seconds. We've got the reversal awarded. That makes it 11-10.
Yep, 1 point lead. And all Leon does to do is wrestle smart, not expose his backs, and we got a 1 point lead.
With the time left, it's going to be real tough.
And Joey's trying to get a guillotine.
That's it.
Great match, great match.
That brings the crowd here at the Cross and Center alive as Leon Baker.
11-10 decision.
We've got our first local state champion, Leon Baker.
And of course, coming up now in the next class, we've got both maps active as Devin Hawkins for West Valley in the 4A. He won the 103-pound title in 1996. He was 7-2 against Toledo of North Bull to get here to the finals. And in the 3A side, it will be Ben Kirk of Delton. As Gary mentioned, he talked to Ben earlier. 15-0 on a technical fall to Christian Sean Sullivan. Then he beat Matty Samur of Squawk by a score of 11-10. So that was a tight match, Gary, on the 3A side.
Yes, it was.
Of course, we're watching the 3A side right now as they get it underway. And again, this is Ben Kirk along with Chris Parker of McKiskey.
And McKiskey got a quick takedown on Ben, so now it's 2-zip. McKiskey leading.
Sole representatives from both these schools. Delta's one wrestler in the finals, and West Valley's lone wrestler in the finals in this weight class. We'll try to keep you abreast of both of them and bounce back and forth as things move along. We're about a minute into it on the 3A side and just ready to get underway on the 4A side.
So remember on the 4A, Devin Hawkins lost earlier this year to Sam, but he's determined to upset that.
That can be a real incentive, actually.
Oh, it can.
A motivation that'll get you through the finals. 0-0 on the 4A side as we move things around.
4-2 now on the 3A side.
Devin Hawkins, again, our wrestler from West Valley for Skyview, and one of the 6 they've got in the finals tonight. Sam Carranza, the wrestler over there. They're both still in the upright position. Scores building on the 3A side. We're now up to 6-2.
What Chris Parker's doing from McKiskey is controlling the takedown.
So important and something that's so easy to... I never liked takedowns when I wrestled. That was not my favorite part of wrestling. I much preferred to be down there on the mat rolling around.
And stalling was...
stalling was what they called that, yeah, but I did a lot of it, and it kept me happy for a long time.
Yeah, interesting match in the 4A. We'll see if the head game works for West Valley.
About a minute into it right now on the 4A side, still getting a feel for each other. We're in. You've got the Hawkins from West Valley trying to get in tight on a leg. He's got it, but he's got to get around.
Yeah, Sam shot in deep, but Hawkins is countering very well, picking up that far ankle and trying to crossface to stop that.
Working at the side of the mat, they're off.
Oh, just
going to go back to neutral.
You bet.
All right, let's go back to the 3A side. In the meantime, Delta has come up with a couple of points on a reversal for the Delta wrestler Ben Kirk as they wrestle toward the edge of the mat, and they're going to be off the mat right now. And reaction resumes on the 4A.
We're back 35 seconds to go on a 4A match. Both wrestlers in the neutral position, and both of them very equal. You usually see one or the other shooting more often than you're seeing these guys. It's clear they know each other and have an idea what to expect, Gary.
That's right. Of course, what's interesting is Sam Carenza from Skyview wrestled the Devin Hawkins wrestling partner last night, Matt Turner, West Valley, and only won 5-3. So I don't know if there's too many secrets that Devin doesn't know.
And we've got movement again. Sam Carenza in tight. He's just gotten the 2 points. He's awarded the takedown with just a second to go in the first period.
Oh, that was close. That was close. And a close match on the 3A side. That's turning out to be a pretty interesting match.
Yeah, we've got Chris Parker of Nikiski leading Ben Kirk of Delta by 1. Ben trying to get the reversal, come up out now. We're into the second period and just underway. There was a short timeout on the 3A side for about 20 seconds. It looked like the Delta wrestler, something happened to the right side of his face, but he appears to be okay now and doing well and trailing by 1 in the 119-pound class.
Yeah, just remember, Ben Kirk lost earlier 9-4 to this same wrestler, so Ben Kirk is giving a good showing for himself.
In the meantime, a little delay getting things started here. They make sure they're in the correct position before they let them start, and they do. Devin Hawkins from West Valley on the bottom. Sam Carenza on top trying to maintain control or go for a pinning combination. Good crowd here tonight at the Carlson Center. We've got well over 1,000 people down here watching the action. Always good to see that kind of support for wrestling or any other high school sport.
Yeah, it is. It's good to see it. And, of course, a lot of wrestling families here tonight following their kids in this wonderful sport.
This is probably one of the best character builders you're going to find in any sport.
And on the 3A side, Delta now leads Ben Kirk with a reversal on Chris Parker from Nikiski. And now Nikiski's Parker trying to get out of it. Will not at this point with 39 seconds left to go in the second period. And both the 3A and the 4A now breaking up. And on the 4A side going down here will be the West Valley wrestler.
Hawkins is on the bottom as they return to action. We've got a minute 12 to go in the second period. On our side, score again is 2-0 in favor of Carenza from Skyview. Wrestlers trying to work up to neutral, tied up tough with the shoulders, though. Somebody may break out of this one.
And the 3A match is still tough. 1 point lead by Ben Kirk. He's doing a great job of riding his man. His coach said Ben was focused tonight. Ben was going to win.
Still holding them out on the 4A side.
Still holding them down as they go toward the edge of the mat. They'll be off the mat momentarily. They will blow the whistle on the 3A side. And with 6 seconds left to go in the second period, it's still Ben Kirk from Delta leading Nikiski right now.
Hawkins awarded a point for an escape as they were working toward the edge of the mat there. He must have gotten it in just before they got off. So our score is 2-1 in favor of Carenza from Skyview with 30 seconds remaining in the second period.
Well, both our local wrestlers are giving a good showing of themselves. I'm really proud of them.
These guys are wrestling tough as Hawkins tries to make a move and get around behind. He's got a leg. He's got to break his right leg free before he's going to be awarded points. They give it to him. He picks up 2. That puts him in the lead, 3-2. Hawkins in control on 4A 119-pound division.
In the 3A, it's still going strong with Ben Kirk on top.
Into the third period as we look again, as Gary mentioned, Kirk on top with a 1 point lead now. 7-6, and they'll blow the whistle and break him up right now.
Yeah, potentially dangerous hold. He had that arm back over his head and ref stopped it, didn't want to hurt the Nikiski wrestler.
We've got good matches on both sides, on both the 3A and the 4A. Again, a 1-point margin for each side.
I know it. Isn't that terrible? Now, we need a dual split screen here.
That's one of the little screen within a screen things that one of the TV companies advertises. In the meantime, we'll try to keep you posted on both of them as they move along. They just begin the third period on the 4A side. Hawkins from West Valley up by 1 on that side.
Great match.
Again, we're having we have the little delay as we make sure the holds are correct and everybody's exactly where they ought to be on 4A before we get things going.
It's tied now on the 3A school side, 7-7. And now Nikiski just got an escape, so it should be 8-7.
In the meantime, Hawkins riding tough, not really making a move to get Carranza onto his back, and he's going to have to make some kind of motion or they'll get him pretty quickly for stalling here in the finals. Carranza makes a move to get up, and he's going to get the escape. He's got the 1 point. That gives him a tie, 3-3 with 1:30 to go.
And Ben Kirk just got a takedown on Nikiski, and so he's got a 1-point lead. It's 9-8 on the 3A side. And a reversal now. Now Nikiski's ahead by 1.
Couldn't ask for two better matches at the same time. 3-3, 4A, 119-pound side. It's all tied up. Hawkins making the bid for West Valley's lone potential champion in the state tournament this year.
If Hawkins can get that leg free, he'll get 2 points. Oh, get out of bounds.
He doesn't get out of bounds quick. He's going to lose it to a reversal.
He does.
They give it to him. Carranza's got a 2-point reversal.
Yeah, even though Hawkins was out of bounds himself, his opponent had both legs inbounds. So
and over on the 3A side, the Nikiski wrestler as Ben Kirk comes up over the top trying to get it here. And only 10 seconds left to go with a 1-point lead as they go toward the edge of the mat. 3, 2, 1, and that will end. And you have your champion.
We've got points awarded. You've got points awarded right at the end.
What did he call?
So we will go overtime in the 3A as we have now a 10-10 tie.
I think we've got a champion. They're awarding 2 points, aren't they?
No, they're going to let him go here. It looks
Going right into overtime.
Right into overtime.
First person scores wins. They gave Ben a 1 point for an escape.
I know, Gary, in the overtime, the first one to get a point wins. Is that correct?
In the first
so we'll just stay with our 3A match here until we get a winner over on this side.
Sudden death, as everybody hates to call it. In the meantime,
and we've got it. And Kirk
gave a takedown. Now the referee's going to confer to make sure that's correct.
On the 4A side, we are still into 35 seconds to go. 5-3 is our score. Our leader, Sam Carranza from Skyview, as they sort things out on the 3A side.
3A sides, the refs are conferring if that was a 1-point decision or not. Now they've made up their mind. The refs have called off the point. I didn't think it was a takedown, personally. I didn't think it was a takedown. I thought it was a good call. And that's the great thing about
having two officials
out here. They can confer.
So now wrestling continues on 3A. In the meantime, it's 5-4 in favor of Carranza from Skyview with 15 seconds to go.
And with 10 seconds left to go on the 4A, we're now conferring once again. Now the coaches are talking to the referees.
Hawkins got to make a move here real quick. We're wrapping up 4A. Hawkins has got to get in. He tries to shoot, does not make it. Sam Carranza from Skyview, the 4A champion.
In 4A and 119, congratulations to the state champion.
All right, here we go. Back to the 119-pound 3A class. Worst one to score, minute 41 to go.
And again, this is winner take all on the overtime. And they're off the mat. We'll stand up and try it again.
Well, Ben Kirk is wrestling with an intensity. Watch him shoot hard. He is not backing up. In fact, it's Nikiski taking the steps back. They're tying up in the center of the mat, and Ben is wanting to shoot. Now he shoots. Ben sprawls, and he has a good cross face. All he has to do is get around behind him.
He's working the leg.
He's got it.
Oh, we got it.
He's got it that time.
Delta takes the title.
Congratulations.
A little premature before, but now we've got Ben Kirk as our champion. Overtime. And our coverage of the ASAA First National Bank State Wrestling Championships continues. Nice one.
If you just can't understand kids these days, thank their teachers. Because unlike most schools in the lower 48, children in the Alaska school system have the option to learn his or her choice of 7 different foreign languages, starting as early as the 1st grade. So promise your kids the world. We'll prepare them for it.
The members of the Fairbanks Education Association care about the total educational experience. In our schools, members of the FEA are teaching your children the skills they need to compete in a changing world. On the playing field, Fairbanks Educational Association members are teaching teamwork, leadership, and discipline. The FEA encourages you to become part of the process. Join PTSA, help your school's booster club, work with your children. Today's educational experience determines our future success.
Oil is the lifeblood of your engine. It's the fluid that keeps it all going, and that makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. Fram is pleased to announce a new oil filter to give your engine the best protection ever. The new Fram Extra Guard. A new glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter. The Fram Extra Guard removes even the smallest particles that can endanger the health of your engine. Pick up a Fram Extra Guard oil filter today at Power and Transmission, 711 Van Horn Road.
Le silet, par-dessus le toit, si bleu.
Yes, and what is more than all these boasts can be?
Because we believe in Alaska's future, we're committed to Alaska's youth. First National Bank proudly sponsors the Alaska School Activities Association.
And back to action in the 3 and 4A classes. On the 3A and the 125-pound class right now, you're looking at Jason Dow of Kotzebue and Chris Morris of Nome. And right now we have a 5-2 match with 22 seconds left to go in the 3rd period. Over to the 4A side with Brad and Gary.
All right, we've got Shad Learley from Chugiak and Tom Cooper from Soldotna. Our R2 wrestlers, we've got 27 seconds remaining in the 1st period. Score-wise, we are 2-0 in favor of Cooper from Soldotna.
Right, and Shad Liley is the one that's now on the bottom position on your screen. Well, we just lost him going over to the 3A side, but Shad was the one with the yellow headgear.
Okay.
Boy, that was exciting. That 119 was a great couple of matches going on at exactly the same time. Wrestling can be a real good time.
And only 1 point separated that last match.
The 4A side, and we had overtime on the 3A side. You just don't get it much better than this.
3A side right now on your screens on Channel 40, and a 7-2 lead as these wrestlers are going out as they set up again on the 4A side.
Right, Jason Dow's in the black on the 3A side.
Our action continues. We'll go through all the way up to the heavyweights, which is actually not a heavyweight anymore. They've actually got a weight division for that. But we've got about 10 more matches to go this evening.
Injury timeout on the 3A side from Nome.
You're allowed, and I'm not sure how many minutes it is. Are you, Gary? 2 minutes? 2 minutes per match is the amount of time you're allowed for an injury, so that allows you to stop any bleeding, repair any bandage-type damage that you may have.
Lost contacts, it can be, they'll count that too.
It just takes care of a problem you used to have with guys stalling it out, taking a chance to catch their breath, and using an injury timeout as their excuse to do that.
Right. Of course, you're watching Shad Lairley from Chugiak. He's a returning regional champion, and so he's ranked to win this tonight, leading 4-zip, I believe. Or no, his opponent's leading 4-0.
Gosh, actually, that's right. Tom Cooper from Soldotna is now up 4-zip and in control at this time as they work to the edge of the net, go off, and will be pulled back to the center. We've got 1:27 remaining in the 2nd period.
All right, and on the 3A side, it's 9-2 as Kotzebue continues to stretch out that lead just a little bit. And now looking for the reversal with 1 minute left in the 2nd period. And That's it on the 3A side as they're set to go once again on the 4A side.
Action just about to get underway. Whoa, he is up quick. Chad Learley really making a fast move and a stand-up, but controlled well by Cooper from Soldotna as he drives him back down to the mat. Trying to work around, and he's got his first point. Chad Learley got an escape out of that. 1 point. That makes it 4-1 in favor of Soldotna in the 125-pound weight class.
Yeah, Tom Cooper in the darker blue color on your television screen with the red.
It's a little tough to separate them. We got virtually the same colors going on both these mats tonight, and little hard to figure out who's doing what to what. In the meantime, injury timeout just wrapping up on the 3A side. On 4A, we're at 4-1, 42 seconds remaining in the second period. Tom Cooper from Soldotna in control and leading this match as we head into the end of the second period.
On the 3A side, I do want to mention that Jason Dow, of course, is a defending state champion in the 125-pound weight class, so he's looking to repeat, and he's got his known opponent on the back for a fall.
Close pin here. Let's see what happens on the 3A side. Getting that last shoulder down there.
It's 9-2 now, his favor. Of course, he's going to get 3 here if he doesn't pin Chris Morris from Nome. So Chris Morris is trying to arch and get out from under that bottom, but Jason Dow is looking to repeat as state champion.
17 seconds left to go in the period. 9-2 our score.
In the meantime, on the 4A side, an update. We've got more points awarded going to Tom Cooper from Soldotna. He now leads that 6-1.
Quite a commanding lead, Tom is.
And there's the 3 points you were talking about on the 3A side. Now a 12-4 lead for Jason Dow as our second period comes to an end.
That's our first back points, isn't it, of the night, Gary? I don't recall any others.
I think so. I think so.
First back points so far tonight.
Well, Chris Morris did a good job of not getting pinned there. He did come out in reverse against Jason Dow. Of course, Jason kind of having his way.
Technical fall is a 15-point lead.
Right, 15-point lead. Of course, you get an extra point for your school if you get a technical foul versus just a regular.
And we have a technical foul just called on this side, or is it just a timeout? We'll check it on the 3A side. And going over now to talk to the coach is the referee.
And very seldom, by the way, do you see a technical fall in the finals in a state tournament again, because these kids have wrestled quite a bit to get to where they got to go.
1 point awarded to Jason Dow. Let's go over an action on the 4A side.
6-1 the score still on the 4A side. Tom Cooper from Soldotna is leading the match and really riding tough. He's got that leg in strong. Minute 44 remains in the third period.
Well, he's trying that single leg takedown, or trying to just get that single leg, elevate it, and either trip or throw.
And Chad Learley breaks out, picks up his second point. That makes it 6-2. We haven't awarded the point on the scoreboard yet, but he got it. And he's in on a leg now, trying for a takedown.
Tom Cooper is defending very well on that takedown with what we call a whizzer. Got that arm thrown in there. Now he's in trouble, though.
There's Learley again.
Sits through and counters that takedown.
Whoa!
Great job.
Great counter move by Cooper. Really a tough one.
Yep.
Still no points awarded on any of this action.
Now the referee's watching the legs. Tom Cooper a little high. He could get in trouble here.
Learley picks up his first takedown. That tightens things up considerably. We're now up to 6-3.
Chad just came out the back door. Just what we call it. Just ducked from under and got him 2 quick points.
Over on the 3A side, we have an injury, and this is the second injury for Chris Morris of Nome, and it looks like Morris now just getting up and ready to go, but he was down for about 30 seconds. And again, down also 16-4 right now with only 57 seconds rather. That would be a long match.
Yeah, and what you saw was an optional position that Jason Dow elected to use on this start of this match. When you saw him hold up his hands and indicate to the ref, that's an optional starting position. You don't see that too often, but Jason likes it. Needs 2 more points, and he wins by technical fall.
And all he has to do is get the reversal here, and he's almost got it. With 32 seconds left, 16-5 is our score.
On the 4A side, it's 8-3. Tom Cooper from Soldotna still in control of that match, and 31 seconds remaining.
Now Jason Dow's got what we call a guillotine. I don't think the ref liked the pressure point there.
15 seconds left to go, 18-5, and that's the third time that Chris Morris of Nome has had problems. Now he's back on his feet, again trailing by 13 points, and this one is Jason Dow's for the second time in a row.
On the 4A side, we've got big points awarded. We had back points. It's now 8-6, 9 seconds. Literally is really a motivated wrestler over here, but I don't think he's got enough time. It's 8-7, 2 seconds to go. And that's it. Tom Cooper from Soldotna holds on. Really a strong move by Shad Luley late to make it good for the title. Didn't make it 8-7. Tom Cooper is the champion at 125 pounds.
All right, and our match on the 3A is over. Final score 20-5. That 15 points you talked about, Gary. And nice job by Jason Dow of Kotzebue.
Always a surprise when you see a technical in the championships of the state tournament.
Well, it is, except for that division now. I mean, with the defending state champion, Jason has had no problems this year. Ranked number 1 coming in. So, I mean, if you're going to see it, you're going to see it on the defending state champion side.
Congratulations to the state champion at 125 and the 1-2.
And in the background, you're hearing Kip Harmon
from Kotzebue.
And our coverage of the ASAA First National State High School
to the 130 weight class,
will
123A, Earl Samuelson.
All across Alaska, children are waiting for a phone call. Because now, when you choose and use AT&T Alaska, almost all your family's calls can help your school earn computers, software, and training. Sign up for the AT&T Learning Points program. Call today. I know they love
I wonder what it would be like to be in a movie.
Other than that, I'm in good shape.
Box Office Video, where your movie adventures come true.
This is Jill and Jake. When it was time to pay the snow machine loan, they went to one place, but for a home loan, they had to go to another. And to save money, Jill stashed it in Jake's bed. Jake was getting tired of all those lumps, so he took Jill to Northern Schools Federal Credit Union. They have checking and savings accounts, home and auto loans, and a bunch of other services all in one place. Now Jill isn't running all over, and Jake's finally getting some sleep. Northern Schools Federal Credit Union, making life a little bit easier.
Back to the Carlson Center. You're watching action on the 3A mat as Jody Trantham of Chugiak taking on Tony DeMarco of Palmer. It is 2-0 on the, I'm sorry, that's the 4A side, guys.
It was nice of you to mention it.
Earl Samuelson of Bethel and Aaron Bacon of Houston, and trying to flip him over right now as he goes for the reversal, and they've got him down on the mat, and will they get it? No, they're going to break it up right here. Let's go over and check action on the 4A side.
But we're back points awarded on that. Big lead for the young man over on the 3A side. On the 4A side, we've also got one where the points are splitting. It's 4-1. This is the 130-pound class. Tony D'Amico from Palmer and Jody Trantham from Chugiak are our wrestlers. And the lead currently held by Jody Trantham from Chugiak. He's up. Well, change that. We've revised points. It's now 3-2, apparently, after some discussion, Gary.
Yeah, looks like he's down one, although Jody should be the favorite here. He's a 2-time state runner-up in last year's Region 4 champion. So, Jody did wrestle at the Senior Nationals this year, too.
And apparently that is a correct score. After discussion, it's now Tony D'Amico, 3-2, over Jody Trantham from Chugiak.
All right, over on the 3A side, we've got on a reversal, 2 points scored by Earl Samuelson of Bethel. That makes it 5-3. Aaron Bacon of Houston leading. Let's go back to 4A action.
All right, we're at 1:44 remaining in the second period. Our score is 4-2. The wrestler from Chugiak is the leader in this match.
No, Palmer, Tony.
Palmer, you're right. Pardon me.
Well, the light blue color on your screen is is Palmer, and they just gave him 2 points, so it should be 6-2 now.
All right, and it is 6-2, and the 6 is for the Palmer wrestler. You're right. We got it squared away. Seems blue is a popular color tonight in these matches, and we're doing the best we can to keep it sorted out. In the meantime,
on the 3A side, it's 5-3, and we're going to have our 2 3A wrestlers, Aaron Bacon of Houston, 38 seconds left to go in the second period, leading Earl Samuelson of Bethel by a score of 5-3, and the referee doesn't like the setup, so we're going to try it all over again.
Earl shocked everyone last night by pinning the number 1 ranked wrestler coming in, Ray May from Mount Edgecombe. So Earl wasn't supposed to be here from Bethel, but he's trailing by 3 now.
6-3 is our score now with 27 seconds left to go. Let's go check the action on 4A.
We just had points awarded. We're now up to 8-3. Palmer in control of this match. This is the second one where we expected a Chugiak winner, and they're trailing. Seemed to start slow tonight for some reason from Chugiak.
It sure has. He hasn't gotten started, but he's running out of time, Jody Trantham we're talking about. And Tony D'Amico is doing a great job.
1 point for the escape. That makes it a little closer. 8-4 currently. 24 seconds remaining. Second period, 130-pound weight class.
End of the second period on the 3A side. It is Aaron Bacon from Houston leaving Earl Samuelson from Bethel by a score of 6-3 as they get ready to start action on the third. We've got action going on the 4A mat right now.
It continues. We're down to 6 seconds remaining in the second period. Our score is the same. Wrestlers working to the edge. They're both up.
Jody does look a little tired, don't you think?
Doesn't seem to have the energy to shoot in tough the way you really have to in a state final.
And let's go back over to the 3A side. Still a 6-3 lead as you see Aaron Bacon of Houston on top of Earl Samuelson of Bethel, and trying to bring that leg over, trying to go for the pin position. And now he gets the reversal, and 2 more points are added. It's now 8-3 Bacon for Houston leading Earl Samuelson. Back to the 4A action.
In 4A, we're moved into the third period, 1:50 to go. In control, on top, both in points, in terms of score and riding position, is Tony D'Amico from Palmer.
How's Palmer, weren't they like in the middle of the pack coming in? Because Palmer's got 4 wrestlers in the finals tonight. Chugiak's got 3, so.
Palmer was in third place going into tonight's wrestling. They had 105 points. They needed to pick up 12, which is 3 individual titles in order to move up on service.
Important match.
And over on the 3A side as the Houston wrestler goes for the pin and comes real close now, leading 8-3. 41 seconds left to go in the third period. He's got it. And there's your winner, Aaron Bacon of Houston, defeating Earl Samuelson of Bethel. So Bacon is our 130-pound champ in the 3A. Let's go back to action on the 4A side.
A lot of great action in 3A wrestling. You think the small schools can't pull it off, but they produce some really top-notch wrestling.
When you get the school behind you and the classmates behind you, it really doesn't make a difference, the size of the school, and to a great extent. We've had some great traditions up here with Eielson.
Absolutely. Eielson in football is a legend I just as soon forget. We'll talk about it. 8-5 is our score. Tony D'Amico from Palmer is the leader in this match, and he's working for the back points.
Just put Jody on his back. Got a really tight pinning combination there.
2 points awarded for that. 10-5 is the score. 20 seconds remaining, and he's looking for more points or a pin. He's got 3 points coming up for a near fall.
Should give him 3 points near fall.
And there they are. They're awarded. That makes it 13-5 and really makes it tough for Trantham to be able to pull anything out of this.
Of course, he just reversed, Tony. And he's going for a far side cradle. That's what that hold is.
Not enough time. It's all over. 13-7. Tony D'Amico from Palmer, the state champion, 130 pounds.
Tony D'Amico from Palmer.
Coming up next, as you see the championship awarded. On the 135-pound bracket,
135 pounds in 1-2-3A.
James Lindemann from Nikiski and Spencer Newton from Bethel. Again, this is the 135-pound class. Looks like
James is the defending state champion. James Linderman's defending state champion last year at 130 pounds.
And the 3A match is underway.
Always go with tradition. Coming into a state championship as a title holder is a big advantage, both in terms of intimidation and putting you where you want to go. It shows you focused enough to pull it off in the previous year, and you're back for a repeat.
Of course, in the coaches poll, they had Nikiski ranked number 2, and Bethel ranked number 1. So don't know what happened in the regular season.
All right, in 4A at 135 pounds, we've got Vince Valladolid from Kodiak and Ryan Thur from Bartlett are our two wrestlers. We're just underway, no score, 135 remaining in the first period. And even as we speak, we've got points awarded, 2 points. Now we just got to figure out which one is which.
Well, Bartlett would be the one.
Bartlett's in the blue,
without
solid
the
blue.
Without the stripes.
Now we know who is who. So that means the 2 points went to Valladolid from Kodiak, and then an escape quickly by Thur from Bartlett. So we're 2-1 with 1:10 remaining in the first period.
Vince Valladolid is a terrific wrestler from Kodiak.
A lot of press on him, actually, and again, coming out of a small area, but he's a tough wrestler, and you can see he's in top shape.
On the 3A side, first points are awarded to Spencer, let's make that the Nikiski wrestler.
James Linderman, defending state
make it Lindemann, rather. Spencer Lindemann from Bethel on the reversal. Now they'll set up with the Nikiski wrestler James Lindemann on the bottom.
Right, Lindemann trying to get to his base and trying to effect an escape here. Working very hard on the bottom, but Spencer Reardon doing a good job keeping him flat and trying to put him on his back.
Gary, we were going to talk a little bit about stalling. It was an item of discussion, apparently, in the matches that went on last night. Tom Ritchie from Lathrop not happy in the way it was called in a couple of the matches. Explain to us what the refs look for, what the coaches are talking about.
The wrestlers are, the referees are always looking for either the offensive or defensive wrestler to be moving and trying to gain an advantage. The offensive wrestler has to always be trying to pin his opponent. The defensive wrestler has to always be trying to effect an escape or also setting up a pinning combination. The refs will not tolerate defensive type wrestling where you make no attempt to initiate an action. They will not tolerate it at all.
The theory in wrestling is you got to be moving all the time, and if you're not, it's going to cost you.
That's right. That's right.
Action with 15 seconds left to go in the first period as we're getting ready to start the action on the 4A mat. And once again, for the third time, our 3A wrestlers, Spencer Reardon and James Lindemann, will travel out of bounds. Let's go back to the 4A mat.
Valladolid, as you would expect, is in control of this match. He's now up 8-3 as we begin the third period. He's on top in the riding position.
Right, he scored a major decision last night against Pat Corral of Ketchikan, 13-5.
He works high, works way up on the body, and he releases there to give a point to Ryan Thur.
Just so he can take him down is what his strategy is. So
he really appears to have a lot of upper body strength, and he really uses that in the way he wrestles.
Now Ryan Thur had for us a heartbreaking win last night when he defeated Kareem Ackman from Lathrop 19-14, and that was a tough loss by Lathrop last night against the Bartlett fellow Ryan Thur.
Tight match over here on the 3A side in the 135-pound class, still 2-0. And five times now we've watched Lindemann from Nikiski basically just drag Reardon out of bounds.
You'd think Linderman would be further ahead being a defending state champion, and that's why when they came into this tournament, Spencer from Bethel was ranked number 1 in the individual poll.
On the 4A side, by the way, Valladolid continuing to pull away, 10-4 our score.
And again, still in control on the 3A side is Spencer Reardon of Bethel, and we're getting close to a pin here, and they will wave it off as the Nikiski wrestler James Lindemann able to get back on his stomach once again, but that was close, Gary.
That was close. Again, he's got to have his shoulder blades exposed to that mat for at least 2 seconds to get a call, and 2 or more.
Well, we're back over on the 4A side,
where Valladolid retains control. He's on top. 10-4 is his advantage. We've got just 35 seconds to go. A release again, that makes it 10-5. He's going to try to get in one more takedown with the short time remaining. This kid looks in top shape, doesn't he, Gary?
Yeah, he's not winded at all.
Through a tournament, and yeah, he's just really out there driving hard.
Yep, I'm wondering. I've been there before, where Bartlett is, Ryan Thur, and you wonder what can I do next.
And unfortunately, most of the time there isn't much. You can't make up a 5-point deficit unless you get real lucky, real fast with a move that goes right to the back.
Now, Valladolid is doing a very, I was going to say, he's very defensive, and I think the ref just gave him a stalling point, gave it to Bartlett.
and we have the same situation on this side as Lindemann from Nikiski will pick up 1 point, as Spencer Reardon called for stalling. A real tight match here, as it is 2-1 with Spencer Reardon from Bethel leading as we get set up on both sides for the third period here.
Ironic, we talked about stalling, and evidently we see it on both sides in this match. I haven't seen it really all night long.
Refs, was it your experience that refs are somewhat reluctant to call that in a championship, Gary, or do you think they stay as tight as they do during the regular season?
I think they call it maybe even faster. I don't see any reluctance.
And the Nikiski wrestler now has tied it up. It is Reardon and Lindemann each with 2 points, as once again they will travel out of bounds. So with 41 seconds left to go in the second period of play, it is still 2-2 on the 3A side. The 4A side, if it stays this way, pretty well decided at this point. We'll stick with our 3A match here, as again Lindemann from Nikiski forcing Reardon backwards and now heading him toward the out-of-bounds side of the mat, and they should be off here momentarily.
Reardon needs to be careful. He's going to be called for stalling.
You've got to work. You really do. This is a sport where you can't stop to catch your breath. You can't defend a lead by not doing what you were doing before. You have to be aggressive at all times in wrestling.
Good match with 16 seconds left to go in the second period and tied 2 apiece. The Nikiski wrestler in the gray uniform, the Bethel wrestler Spencer Reardon in the blue uniform, and again they head toward the edge of the circle one more time as the Nikiski wrestler Lindemann just pushes him out of bounds one more time.
Now he gave both wrestlers a point, 1 point apiece for stalling. He's saying neither one of them's really...
Right, and now it's 3-3, so again that's the end of the second period.
Interesting call. I think I would have called it against the man backing up.
We still have a timeout on the 4A side, so we'll stick with our 3A match as we get ready for our last 2-minute period here.
We're waiting on a nosebleed. Thur from Bartlett has got a little blood coming out, and he's got 3 minutes and 58 seconds to get that fixed, or it's all over on 4A.
Reardon in the down position now. The Nikiski wrestler James Lindemann on top and looking for a reversal, and the Nikiski wrestler Lindemann hanging on here.
Very lucky, fortunate move for Nikiski that he didn't.
Almost gave it away there.
And again, Spencer Reardon in the blue,
trying to get that
silver.
Now he's sort of calling a stalemate, I think.
These guys really aren't shooting hard, and that can be a mistake. When you're more afraid of giving up points than you are interested in getting them, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble in wrestling.
Right. So he called a stalemate, the ref did, put him back in the center of the mat. Spencer's trying to get a switch.
And out of bounds again, and they're going to award 1 point.
I'm not sure who he awarded. He meant to give it to Spencer Reardon, 1 point, because Nikiski stalling.
Makes it a 4-3 with 1.5 minutes left to go. And once again, the nosebleed on the 4A side, so we'll just keep it here on the 3A. They thought we were going to get action going again, and once again, the nosebleed.
Almost got started, and the blood came out again, and they just won't let that happen anymore in high school sport.
Very cautious on blood.
Nikiski, or rather Reardon leading 4-3 over Lindemann from Nikiski.
Good shoot by Spencer Reardon. He's trying to get that single. But
got a tough leg.
Got his head down, but he's almost got it. Lindemann trying to whizzer to block that. Now the ref's calling him 1 point, huh?
Got 1 point, so...
For, what was that, a stall?
Well, he called it stalled. Yes, he did. He said Spencer Reardon intentionally was trying to jump out of bounds, so the ref said, nope, give him no stalling point.
Congratulations to the state champion, Vince Valladolid from Kodiak.
In the meantime, what you're hearing in the background is the 4A match at 135 was called due to the nosebleed.
And we've got a
Brian Fuller.
pin potential on this side. They're making the count, and 2 points awarded. And we are tied at 5 apiece with 36 seconds left to go in our 3A match.
And now it's 7-5 because they gave him 2 points near fall for Nikiski.
The wrap-up again on the 135, as we expected in 4A, Vince Valladolid from Kodiak is the state champion.
Now it is 8-7. 8-7 as the referee goes over to the score on that side. A real tight match here in 3A, Gary, with 36 seconds left.
Yep, 36 seconds. A lot of action right there at the end. Now Spencer also wants to try the optional position. He's probably just going to let him up. Yep, he does. He let Linderman's up. Score 9-7. So Spencer thinks he can get a takedown. Very interesting move right there with 27 seconds left. James Linderman's having none of it.
2 points, just not a big enough lead to feel comfortable, and you can't stall it out. We've talked about that. They're calling it close tonight.
Yep, now Nikiski, of course, in the gray. Good shot deep, but nothing secure. Good counter by Nikiski. Linderman's hanging on.
10 seconds left.
In a position where he's not going to score, this is going to end up just the way it is right now. Oh, they call it enough to give him one last shot.
3 seconds left to go in the third period.
Does look like it's going to be James Linderman repeating as state champion.
And it is
135. Congratulations to the state champion from Nikiski.
Always bet on a champion.
Another win for Nikiski. Tough match.
And our coverage of the ASAA First National Bank State High School Wrestling Championships continues.
Al Hill.
Commercial or retail space for your business, call the commercial real estate specialists at Tom Roberts Realty. They have many great locations available in a variety of price ranges. If you want to lease, buy, or sell business property, call Tom or Chad Roberts at Tom Roberts Realty.
PTI Communications is proud to bring you high school wrestling and to provide local phone service to over 70 Alaskan communities statewide, including North Pole, Fort Wainwright, and Eielson Air Force Base. PTI offers a wide variety of products and services from custom calling features such as call waiting to PTI's WireGuard, which protects you from the costs associated with inside wiring repairs in your home. Think PTI for all your telecommunication needs. Call PTI today at 1-800-478-7121.
The members of the Education Support Staff Association are committed to providing a positive learning environment in our schools. Every day, members of the Education Support Staff Association are working to provide conditions that promote learning and help our youth prepare for the challenges of a quickly changing future. On the playing field, Education Support Staff members are teaching sportsmanship, teamwork, and goal setting. The Education Support Staff Association, working today for a better tomorrow, and happy to help provide coverage of youth sports on AM 970, the news station.
Old Painter Chevron's a place to go for friendly, old-fashioned service. But that doesn't mean that they're not state-of-the-art for automotive technology. From computerized engine diagnostics and wheel balancing to full-service and self-service gas, including 24-hour credit card service. The place to stop is Gold Painter Chevron. They've also got Atlas tires and batteries, all the automotive accessories you'll need, and some of the nicest people in town. Don't forget towing. When you need it moved, call Gold Painter Chevron. At the corner of 8th and Cushman, it's Gold Painter Chevron.
If you need commercial or retail space for your business, call the commercial real estate specialists at Tom Roberts Realty. They have many great locations available in a variety of price ranges. If you want to lease, buy, or sell business property, call Tom or Chad Roberts at Tom Roberts Realty.
And back at the Carlson Center, you're looking at the 3A match. Al Hill out of Hoona and Jerry Miller out of Houston. The Hoona wrestler Al Hill wearing the red and black, in the gold and purple, the wrestler from Houston, Jerry Miller. And Miller right now has a 2-0 lead in the 140-pound class and is riding on top at this point. Let's go over and check the action on the 4A side.
We have Tim Botts from Kodiak and Shane Vargas from Diamond, our two wrestlers at 140 in the 4A. 36 seconds to go in the period. Score is 1-0 in favor of Botts from Kodiak. And points awarded, so that all changes. Vargas from Diamond pulls off 2. Reversal, wasn't it, Gary?
Takedown right there at the end.
All right, 2-1. Our score, 29 seconds to go.
Yep, Diamond showing their school colors. Of course, we're over there on the we're on the 4A side. Diamond, all their players decided to bleach their hair to match their yellow and maroon jersey. So showing school spirit there.
No accounting for taste, however.
Got another school coming up soon with the mohawk haircut. That'll be interesting.
2 of my favorites. We used to just shave it. You go through that haircutting phase? I could never see me with a mohawk personally. That was a whole nother story.
No, but it was close.
It was very close. That's true. That's true. It hurt to have it pulled. 2-1 our score. 7 seconds remaining.
At least you had hair back then.
That's true. Those were better days. All right, we're done in the first period. Our score is 2-2, all tied up in the 140-pound weight class.
And in the 140-pound weight class on the 3A side, we gave you a reverse of our wrestlers. That's actually Al Hill of Huna.
Yeah.
And
he's leading.
Jerry Miller of Houston. And again, Al Hill with a 4-0 lead as they get ready to start action. The second period on the 3A mat. Let's go over to the 4A mat.
A quick escape just as we come back. 3-2 is our score in favor of Vargas from Diamond. Both wrestlers up now and working to the edge of the mat.
Interesting match. Vargas finished third last week in Region 4, but he defeated the winner of that region in the semifinals last night.
Almost at a pin over here on the 3A side, as now it is a 6-0 lead.
Well, Al Hill is ranked number 1 coming into the regionals, but in a higher weight class. So Al Hill from Huna dropped to go into the regionals and to come into here.
You used to see a lot more of that in wrestling. You don't anymore. They try to have you go into the state finals at the same weight class you've been wrestling all year long. Exceptions are made, of course.
Right at the end. So Al Hill thought he could do it, came in, and of course his strategy's proven well tonight.
And now 6-1 as 1 point awarded to Miller from Houston.
3-2 is the score on the 4A side. We've got 1:09 remaining in the second period. Our leader is Vargas from Diamond.
Tim Bolts from Kodiak in the black and gold stripe and blue uniform.
We've had some real tough shooting at takedowns here. Just a moment ago, Bolts was in real strong, going for the legs. Countered well by Vargas. And we've got an injury timeout.
And over on the 3A side, a near pin position as the referee will check. We'll see if we'll get a count or not. Still keeping the shoulders up off the mat as they're sliding toward the out of bounds, and they finally do go out of bounds at this point. But an 8-1 lead.
I think Al Hill's a little upset.
He definitely felt that his opponent was working to the edge to get off, to get out of that pinning combination.
And he's correct.
And it's now
was doing that.
13-1.
And that's what you got to do when you're over there on your back exposed.
Yeah, it's one of the few choices you have. It's tough to get out of those pinning moves once you're in them.
Right. But Al Hill very close to winning this on a technical fall.
13-1 again our score. Less than 30 seconds left to go on the 3A side in the second period. And now they've changed that score from 13-1 to 11-1.
Okay.
Reduced it to 11-1. Let's go over check action now on the 4A side.
Just having points awarded, we've got reversal that just occurred. That makes it 5-4 in favor of Vargas from Diamond with 24 seconds remaining in the second period. Again, Vargas appears to be a little fresher here. He's a little more aggressive, didn't you think?
Yeah, Vargas was ready to go, jumped to the center of the mat, and you could see Tim Bolts was a little bit slower getting out there, but only a 1 point lead. It's anyone's match.
Certainly is. 24 seconds remaining here. Vargas immediately makes a move to get in for the reversal.
Bolts trying an inside switch and almost has the reversal. He does.
We got it. 2 points are awarded. That gives Bolts a 6-5 lead as things bounce back and forth here at 140 pounds.
And now Vargas better be careful. He's getting his back exposed. Nope, not quite.
Not enough for points. 2 seconds, as Gary told us earlier, is where you got to have your back out there, and that ends the second period.
Hand action here in the third period with a minute 45 left to go. And again, Al Hill from Huna looking for the pin on Jerry Miller of Houston right now, trying to tie him up. And Miller able to roll on his stomach again. And it is now a 13-1 lead.
now.
Right. So again, getting real close once again to the...
It surprises me. This could be our second technical fall of the evening, and I still consider that a rarity in a state championship match.
Well, they've been in the lightweight, the 1, 2, 3A divisions, and there are excellent wrestlers coming in. Al Hill, again, was ranked number 1 from a higher weight class. So
coming down, that's right.
And now they've awarded 2 more points. It is 15-1. 15-1 for Al Hill, so only 1 point required to win this one here, and there's still 1:17 left to go in the third period.
4A side, by the way, we're 7-5 now. Boats from Kodiak on top by 2.
Yeah, just as we talked about Bolts looking tired, he exploded on us. Never know in high school wrestling.
Here comes the potential pin, and on the 3A side, it does not happen.
Yeah,
again, the wrestler
stacking him up. Listen.
Boy, he's tough.
Yeah, he gave it to him.
That's it.
Gave it to him, 17-1. Technical fall.
So your winner, Al Hill, and as Gary mentioned, coming to a different weight class to do that, going down a weight.
Going down to.
If you don't drain your energy by cutting the weight, it increases your power. That's the theory. We're at 7-7 on the 4A side. It's all tied up. We've got a minute to go. Our 2 wrestlers once again, both from Kodiak and Vargas from Diamond. Ooh, that one hurt.
I think he knocked the air out of him. They're going to have an injury timeout now. What's interesting here, if Kodiak cannot get up and resume the match, Kodiak will win by default.
They're ruling that an illegal move, Gary?
Well, the ruling probably will be if he cannot get up and resume that the injury was caused by the other player.
Move, yep. And that will do
Vargas, and that we don't know if that's going to happen, but
certainly a possibility. They don't like slams. You don't do aerial moves in college and high school wrestling.
He fell off the mat. He came down on his back right here on the concrete, off the red. There's no padding. You'll see maybe blue on the TV screen, but he fell off on a concrete floor, and that's right on the small of his back. And so
he's fine, by the way, in terms of we've got movement. There's no apparent problem, and he's up and wrestling again. So.
Yeah, it was unintentional. But it's you feel underneath our feet here. That's what he landed on the small of his back. So.
And it's pretty much just like a concrete floor out here. The Carlson Center is concrete, and there's no padding between that and the covering.
Right, just a few feet from us. So I heard the air go.
It was a solid thunk, wasn't it?
It was.
Really was. All right, we're still at 56 seconds to go. Our score is 8-7. Boats from Kodiak is our leader by 1 point. And we've got one of the coaches talking to the official. And
yeah, he's wanting to say it was an intentional slam. So, you try to do as much as you can.
Yeah, coaches always try to work the officials, whether it's wrestling, basketball, football, or anything else. That's part of their job. And the referees listen, and no points are awarded, and we're back to wrestling. 8-7 is our score. Both wrestlers up. 52 seconds remain in this match.
Vargas down by 1. Vargas going back to the center of the mat, trying to get Bolts to come and follow him. Vargas tries to shoot deep. Now he just awarded 1 point to Vargas, didn't he? Maybe didn't.
Nope, looked like it, but no points go up on the scoreboard. We're still 8-7 in favor of Bolts from Kodiak.
Shooting in deep for a single leg, but he's got his head in the middle, so he's not being effective. Vargas is countering, reaching over, grabbing the behind the legs.
If Vargas needs points, he's only got 24 seconds here remaining in the third period, and he's got to do something.
Well, Vargas trying to underhook the arms, trying to sprawl to keep him being taken down. Now he's going to have a back door by Bolts. Oh, look at those rolls. Still no control.
Power moves.
Still no controls. Giving 2 points to Vargas. 9-8. 9-8 now. Diamond leads.
By 1 point, 1 second, that's it.
What a match.
We got a champion. Vargas from Diamond. He is our 140-pound champion.
And our coverage of the ASAA First National Bank State High School Wrestling Championships continues.
Le filet, par-dessus le toit, ciblé.
Yes, and what is more than all these boasts can be?
Because we believe in Alaska's future, we're committed to Alaska's youth. First National Bank proudly sponsors the Alaska School Activities Association.
The members of the Fairbanks Education Association care about the total educational experience. In our schools, members of the FEA are teaching your children the skills they need to compete in a changing world. On the playing field, Fairbanks Educational Association members are teaching teamwork, leadership, and discipline. The FEA encourages you to become part of the process. Join PTSA, help your school's booster club, work with your children. Today's educational experience determines our future success.
Oil is the lifeblood of your engine. It's the fluid that keeps it all going, and that makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. Fram is pleased to announce a new oil filter to give your engine the best protection ever. The new Fram Extra Guard. A new glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter. The Fram Extra Guard removes even the smallest particles that can endanger the health of your engine. Pick up a Fram Extra Guard oil filter today at Power and Transmission, 711 Van Horn Road.
If you just can't understand kids these days, thank their teachers. Because unlike most schools in the lower 48, children in the Alaska school system have the option to learn his or her choice of 7 different foreign languages, starting as early as the 1st grade. So promise your kids the world. We'll prepare them for it.
And back at the Carlson Center, Abe Porter came all the way from Nikiski through the 3A, as did Anthony Lindoff of Juneau. That's the match you're watching right now. But we have Brad Scott, who has Gary Matthews, who's the director of ASAA, with us right now. Let's go to Brad and Gary.
Gary, good to have you here. In addition to having an outstanding singing voice, you do a lot of work for the high school kids in the state of Alaska. ASAA is the organization. Well, rather than have me explain it, tell us what you guys do down there.
Sure, I'd be happy to, Brad. Alaska School Activities Association, or as we like to call it, ASAA, is the statewide body that regulates high school activities in all of the high schools in Alaska that are members. We have 192 high schools that are currently members of our association. A lot of people think we just deal with athletics, but that's not really true. Athletics is a major part of our job and our mission, but we also have activities in fine arts like All-State Honor Music and Solo and Ensemble. We also sponsor academic events like Debate Drama Forensics and World Language Declamation, and we also host the All-State Art Competition. And so
a fairly diverse sort of project mission you've got.
It is, and we're in the process right now of developing oversight for the Alaska Association of Student Government, so it's quite a wide variety of activities that we deal with daily.
Things do seem to be changing. We heard a reference earlier, just before we got on the air, actually, to the fact that you're reorganizing the way the wrestling championships are going to be handled in the future. That things evolve and change, and it makes some people happy and some otherwise.
That's right. We've been, for a number of years, we've been looking at the issue of can we make our season calendar meet the needs of more of the schools in Alaska, or is the one that we've presently been using, is that the best we can get? And over a number of years, this has been evolving, and our board last fall adopted a calendar change for beginning next year that will move basketball later in the season. So basketball will start in December and end at the end of March. In fact, the 3A, 4A state championship is going to be held right in this building next March, the 3rd weekend in March. And because basketball is the only sport that pretty much is universal in the high schools in Alaska, then we need to move other seasons around. Volleyball and wrestling are going to move to the fall, and the large school wrestling, because it conflicts with football, has to be a little bit later in the year, so we had to split up the seasons, and that has created some concern in the wrestling community, and also we have concern about it. We think it will work out all right. It's just something we're going to have to see over the next couple of years.
Gary, we've seen an insurgence of high school sports here. It seems over the last years, more and more people getting involved as far as the spectator side. And I would assume that you're pleased with ASAA's participation in being able to help this along.
Well, what we really want to do is to make our high school tournaments in Alaska the best they can be. Nearly everyone in the state has come from somewhere else, and they always have ideas of how good it was where they were. For instance, hockey, the state high school hockey tournament in Minnesota is the greatest, they say. And so why don't you have your tournament like this? And with lots of things to compare us to. And so what we've tried to do is to make every one the best it can be. They all can't be the same, but we want to try to figure out what it is that makes the great tournaments for not only for the kids but for the spectators, and do that.
And I assume with people like Lon Bagley, who's organized tournaments for a very long time here in the Fairbanks area, this makes your job a little bit easier.
Well, Lon is really does a great job. Not only is he a good organizer, he's also on our board. In fact, he's the president of our board.
A jewel in the rough.
That's right, and realistically, he's my boss. I work for the board for Alaska School Activities Association. Lon is a wonderful organizer. He's done this tournament now. This is the third consecutive year that's been here, and not only is it a great facility, but the community really does a good job of hosting it, and the atmosphere here is electric. It is really an exciting thing.
We haven't mentioned either. Almost 350 kids involved in this tournament. On top of that, the coaches, a lot of cheerleaders, fans, and students, and parents that travel with it. It really is a big project, and everyone's to be congratulated that it comes out as outstandingly as it does.
It is, and a lot of people don't understand that we have over 700 wrestling matches that we'll have completed by the time we're done tonight in the last 2 days. That's a major amount of wrestling. And so people that like wrestling have a perfect opportunity to sit down for 2 days and just be inundated, overloaded with wrestling.
We also can't let you get away without having a chance to thank your sponsors. You've got at least 2 corporate partners who are doing a lot to make this sort of thing happen here.
We are a private nonprofit corporation, and so in order to continue to offer these activities, we have to rely on the help of the corporate Alaska. Our major sponsor our major name sponsor for the last 7 years is the First National Bank of Anchorage. They've been with us and been right there the whole time, helped us through when we needed it. And AT&T Alaska, as our telecommunications sponsor, has been very helpful too. So without those sponsors, we wouldn't be doing this tonight. This wouldn't be on the air.
Good people to have on your side, and we appreciate the work you've done, Gary. Thanks much.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here, and thanks for inviting me to be on the air.
And we'll catch back up on the action out here on the mats.
All right,
things happening on both sides.
Back on the 3A side, we've got Abe Porter out of Nikiski and Anthony Lindoff out of Puna. This is the 145-pound championship. They are in the third period right now with a minute 44 left, and quickly, let's go over to the 4A here for just a second or two and see what we've got going here. As it's a 7-3 lead as they begin the third period in the 4A. Back on the 3A side, the Nikiski wrestler, this is Abe Porter, trying to work around the top of the Houston wrestler, Andy Lindoff. As we mentioned earlier, again, both Lindoff and Nikiski coming from number one in their session all the way to this championship match, and having to win 4 matches in order to get here into the championship series. Again, Nikiski leading 5-4 with 1 minute left to go in the third period. That's 5-4 with 1 minute left to go in the third period. Let's check out the 4A action.
All right, we're going to take a break while we've got a chance here and sneak in another quick interview. We mentioned we only had 5 local wrestlers in the tournament tonight. One of those was Ben Kirk from Delta. Ben, you pulled it off. Congratulations. Great job.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Not to mention how excitingly you did it in overtime, no less, huh?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I suppose we have to ask if that was the strategy going in. Do you know it was going to be close?
I knew it was going to be close. I didn't know it was going to be that close, though.
Now, this is your first title this year.
Yeah, that was my freshman year.
Was it a goal you planned for? How did you get here? How did it work out?
Well, I started out the season at 130, and I cut down 10 pounds. And at first, I wasn't sure how I was going to do. But I guess my first tournament went over when I got OW. That's when I kind of knew I was going to do.
And what some of the other opponents you've had was the tournament overall. How did you feel about it?
Oh, well, this match has got to be my greatest match I've ever wrestled in my life. I mean, it's just so overwhelming that I won. It's pretty crazy.
It's a treat to bring home a title, and we congratulate you. Good job for Delta tonight.
Hey, thanks a lot.
All right, we'll catch up on the action out on the mats. Ben, way to go.
Hey, Ben Kirk in the 119-pound division. And we will head on over as we've got only 11 seconds left to go in a 7-6 lead. Tight match here.
Good job.
And the it's the Houston wrestler leading. And that is the end of our 3A match. And the winner is going to be Anthony Lindoff of Puna. Let's go back to the 4A action.
All right, we haven't even touched this match. We've got 45 seconds to go. James Wade from Palmer and Carl Saltz from Soldotna are our 2 wrestlers, both in blue. We'll figure out who's what as we pull Gary back here. Soldotna is on the bottom right now. I can tell that much. Can I? I think I can. Our score is 7-5, so we're tight. Gary, you know which one of these guys is which on the 4A side?
Yep, green is James Wade from Palmer. I'd say blue, but he's the one with the white socks. That's the best way to identify him.
I knew there'd be a way we could split that apart. And our score is 8-5 as we've got 17 seconds remaining in the third period.
Right, 8-5. Carl Saltz leading from Soldotna. His opponent tonight. It was a major upset last night. It was Carl who defeated Aaron Hawkins from West Valley in a 5-3 overtime. So
in 4A at 145.
looks like it proved.
That wraps it up. We've got another champion. 8-5 is our score, and our winner is Carl Saltz from Soldotna.
And our coverage of the ASAA First National Bank State High School Wrestling Championship continues.
This is Jill and Jake. When it was time to pay the snow machine loan, they went to one place, but for a home loan, they had to go to another. And to save money, Jill stashed it in Jake's bed. Jake was getting tired of all those lumps, so he took Jill to Northern Schools Federal Credit Union. They have checking and savings accounts, home and auto loans, and a bunch of other services all in one place. Now Jill isn't running all over, and Jake's finally getting some sleep. Northern Schools Federal Credit Union, making life a little bit easier.
Alaska, children are waiting for a phone call. Because now, when you choose and use AT&T Alaska, almost all your family's calls can help your school earn computers, software, and training. Sign up for the AT&T Learning Points program. Call today. I know they love you.
I wonder what it would be like to be in a movie.
Other than that, I'm in good shape.
Box Office Video, where your movie adventures come true.
Get your t-shirt.
And live back at the Carlson Center, now in the 152-pound class, we've got Johnny McMahon from Glen Allen and Eli Porter of McKiskey. It is a 2-0 Glen Allen lead right now with 30 seconds left to go.
Johnny McMahon's a defending state champion in 145 in 1996, so he's gained a little weight.
And on the 4A side, our matchup is Carl Jordan from Sitka and Brian Baker from Skyview, one of these 6 we mentioned that are coming into the finals tonight, Gary.
Right, Skyview just walking off the mat. They're in the purple uniform or the red band.
Not sure what the delay is in this case, are you?
Nope.
This isn't a tough one. You start both wrestlers up and in a neutral position. It's normally not a real tough thing to get going. Oh, they had been underway and were deciding who was in control. Okay, now we're back. Now it makes sense. And Skyview is on top and riding. Our score is 2-2. We're all tied up.
And over on the 3A side, it's 2-1 after the first period. It's the defending champion, Johnny McMahon of Glen Allen, leading Eli Porter of McKiskey. McKiskey in the silver and the black and yellow of Johnny McMahon of Glen Allen. Let's go back. Action on the 4A mat.
We're working toward a pinning move here. Brian Baker from Skyview in control and working for the pin.
He's got his man deep.
He's got at least shoulder or back points.
Yep,
got him down for a second, but not enough. And that saved by the bell comes to mind. Carl Jordan saved by the end of that period. Points awarded make it 5-2 in favor of Skyview after the first.
And over on the 3A mat, in a pinning position now, the Nikiski wrestler in trouble. That's Eli Porter, and they're going to award 3 points here. That makes it an 8-1 Johnny McMahon of Glen Allen lead with a minute 33 left to go in the second period. They'll set up with the Nikiski wrestler Eli Porter on the bottom here.
On the 4A side, we've got an injury timeout again, a little blood. They're patching things up. We'll be underway again here in just a moment. As they reset, once again, we've mentioned they got to be careful with blood. 3A action continues.
You can see Johnny McMahon in control of his match, leading 8-1, and one of the many 3A defending state champions. Although, of course, Johnny's, like we said, won it last year at 145, representing Glen Allen, and riding Eli Porter very well from Nikiski, driving him hard on the edge of the mat.
As they head toward the out of bounds, let's check action on the 4A mat right now.
A lot of head slapping, a lot of competition for takedowns over here. It's 5-3. Skyview, Baker is our leader. You can see the sort of thing that has been going on here constantly for about the last minute or so. These guys shooting in tight, trying to get control. Baker a little more aggressive. Jordan playing a waiting game, looking for an opening.
Well, what Jordan was doing was popping him in the forehead just to try to distract him, and then ducking down to try to get a double leg or single leg. So.
And Baker tries to get around almost. Would have had that if they were closer to the center of the mat. They weren't, so they'll be back up in neutral again.
Brian pretty much has leverage on him in this match against Carl Jordan. See that spin around there for almost 2 points. Trying to cross face, pick the leg.
A lot of action in this one. These kids really, again, in top condition. And you've got to remember, most of these guys have been through 2 or 3 matches to get to this position. So they've done some wrestling. 49 seconds to go, 7-3 the score. Baker from Skyview is our leader. More points awarded. We've got a reversal. Jordan from Sitka now on top. It makes it 7-5 for Baker from Skyview. 35 seconds to go.
Over on the 3A side, we've got almost a pin as McMahon almost had Porter, had Parcher. They're going to go ahead and award points here. And that's going to make it at least 10-1 at this point.
Another big decision coming up over there.
From Glen Allen. 10-1, and again, only 2 minutes of wrestling action left to go. Let's go back with 10 seconds left on our 4A side.
And more points awarded over here, 12-5.
Right, we're seeing Brian try the guillotine. Didn't work. Carl Jordan reversed on him.
Got points. We got back points.
Amazing how it can reverse.
So fast. Just so fast. 12-9 is our score at the end of the second period. Baker still leads, but very close to the end right there.
All right, back on the 3A side, action again is McMahon, Johnny McMahon, as Nikiski finally, the Nikiski wrestler, picks up only a second point of the match. That's Eli Porter. It's now 10-2 with a minute 23 left to go in the third period. This is the 152-pound class with the 160-pound class coming up next. McMahon now underneath, Nikiski wrestler Eli Porter riding on top, but again, trailing now as he picks up 2 more points. It is now 10-4.
The number 1 and number 2 ranked wrestlers in the 1-2-3A division at 152.
And preview coming up at 160, just around the corner. We've got the one and only Eielson wrestler we'll be seeing on the 1-2-3A side, Maurice Salinas, representing Eielson tonight.
2 more points scored by McMahon. It's now 13-4 with 44 seconds left. And unless something really exciting happens on the 3A side, Johnny McMahon from Glen Allen will be our champion in the 152-pound class. Back to the 4A mat.
Currently, 12-9 is our score. Baker in control. Carl Jordan on top from Sitka. Working, almost got it back again. So close. Not enough to get back points, however, as Baker slides away.
Carl's got a good ride going. He's got that leg, not quite a Turk, but he's got a good leg ride there to control Brian Baker and just working back and forth, trying to press him down.
Baker takes risks, from what I'm seeing of his wrestling. He puts himself in a position where he can get hurt, or at least he is in this match.
He's cut back. Baker threw a beautiful guillotine move, and Carl countered beautifully and got the reversal and the near fall points. Made it a lot closer.
Countering one of those things that so many people don't pay attention to. Baker seems to be, I was just going to say there's some sort of stalling.
That Carl Jordan working him hard from Sitka, trying to throw that force Nelson.
And Baker trying to maintain his lead, and they won't let you do that. We've got 53 seconds here, a lot of time to lose points in.
Okay, and our 3A match with 4 seconds left, 3, 2, 1. And your winner is going to be Johnny McMahon of Glen Allen in the 152-pound class. Back to the 4A.
Baker picks up an escape, 1 point. That puts him up 13-9, 40 seconds to go. Both wrestlers up. 4 points, a tough margin to make up with this time left. You got to get back points, and that's going to be hard to do.
Only unless Brian makes a mistake.
Which has happened before in this match. 30 seconds to go.
2-point takedown and 2 or 3-point near fall, and it's over.
Jordan driving in hard, but Baker maintaining control, and time running out.
They're really locked up there, aren't they? Jordan trying to scoot out the back door, but Baker is not letting go. State championship in doubt.
And there we've got the takedown, but that's not enough. It's 13-11, 5 seconds to go. Jordan needs points, and he's just not going to get them. That's it.
That should have been 1 more point for Brian, and then a 2-point takedown for Carl.
That's going to end apparently that way. 13-11. Brian Baker from Skyview is our champion.
And of course, coming up now is going to be the match we've been waiting for on the 3A side. And that's Maurice Salinas of Ryerson in the 160-pound class. Defeated Chad Nyland 6-4, and John Kasich from McKiskey 9-6 in his previous match. And they'll be coming out on the map. This will be the 160-pound bracket. The only other local wrestler we have going following Maurice Salinas is going to be Justin Binder of Lathrop in the 189-pound class. As we talked about Binder earlier, one of the nicest kids you'd ever want to meet in your life. He's just a total excellent young man.
And one heck of a wrestler from the matches that we've seen him pull off tonight. Eielson, what can you tell us about this, Gary?
Well, Maurice, I talked to him earlier. He's ready to go, totally relaxed. He upset John Kasich, seeded number 1 coming in here from McKiskey last night. Won that by a decision. I think it was 6-9 or 9-6 decision. So Maurice is coming in and is ready to go. I think Maurice told me he'd never met his opponent, Joe Eastman from Seward, but it didn't seem to bother him. He's ready to take him on.
And they are really wrestling hard. I mean, we are talking in tough on the legs and shooting tough as they work to the edge of the mat, pulled back into the center, and both in the neutral position.
Good double leg takedown right there by Seward.
We're also in that position now where we've moved out of pure quickness. We're building strength there. 160 pounds, one of those weights where we really turn the tide and power becomes a factor.
Yep. Now it's 2-1.
Salinas
got an escape. Actually, Joe Eastman sort of let him go.
Released him. Again, we've seen that tactic used often tonight.
Now, Joe Eastman ranked number 1 also from his division. He did lose. Eastman from Seward lost to Kasich last week in that Houston Regional. And, of course, I just said Maurice beat Kasich last night. So I think it should be close, but I can't believe how loose Salinas was tonight.
And once again, they work to the edge of the mat and are called back to the center. You can see the arms on these guys. They are strong. And they're still quick. We're not bulked up enough yet that the speed slows down. So good action in this weight class.
And again, Salinas trying to shoot in and not successful.
Eastman's got the leg. Still in neutral position. Both wrestlers maintaining their level of control.
Now Maurice is driving hard. Maurice looks like he's got good upper body strength. Although Seward seems a little bit larger, but Maurice might have some leverage on him.
So far, really even.
Yep, 2-1 the score. Seems like Joe Eastman seems to have a better stance, sprawled well there to defend against Maurice shooting for a double leg. But Maurice, you see, doesn't give up.
And he's got the leg, once again, just too close to the edge. He's going to lose it on control unless he can turn it around here.
He's going to pick him up and turn quickly back into the mat. But
can't gain enough advantage. They'll work off the edge.
Yeah, Maurice squares his hip and sprawls and arches his back up. That's a good defense tactic for someone shooting a double leg like Maurice is doing.
4 seconds left here in the first period of action, as it's Joe Eastman of Seward and Maurice Salinas of Eielson.
Yeah, we'd like to see Eielson take a state championship. Good kind of a duck under shot there at the end. Maurice seems to be working more of the takedown moves.
And Maurice will be starting the second period in the down position.
We want all these state titles to come home to Interior Alaska.
Okay, they're going to start in the neutral position.
Boy, he's in tough. He's in tough on that leg.
What's he going to call? No call.
That is a strong move, though. A powerful move.
Good, solid move. And in this case, the edge of the mat worked to our advantage.
It's always good when it's on our side. And then we're off again. Both wrestlers up.
Now Maurice having a little bit better stance, posture-wise, I think.
So many things come into play here.
Oh, look at that.
Not the least.
Look at the throw by Eastman. Set him up. Great
nice
throw
move.
There. And he's caught Maurice in a predicament. Maurice bridging, coming out, getting a 2-point reversal.
Points awarded real fast on that one.
Wish Maurice got a takedown and a near fall.
So 7-3 is our score now for the Seward wrestler as they travel out of bounds once again with 1:11 left to go in the second period.
One throw like that where you get caught on your back. It may seem insurmountable, but we've got a period and a half to go.
And exactly the same thing can happen the other way around next time. It just doesn't take much to put yourself in position to have points go one way or the other here.
So Joe Eastman tried an inside switch there, coming up to his feet. And going for that throw again.
Oh, and he's got him again. Same hold.
Unfortunately, Maurice has got his shoulders near the edge of the mat. So they're not going to give near fall points.
No shoulder points.
So get the reversal, though, for 2 points. That makes it 9-3 for Joe Eastman of Seward.
It's interesting to see this match develop. Initially, it seemed as if these guys were really very equal, but the more it goes on, you can see that Eastman just seems to have, whether it's psychological or skill-wise, just enough of an edge to dominate, and that's what he's doing with the score right now.
Well, Maurice has done really well getting to the finals. I mean, he finished second last week in the regionals, losing to Nyland Valdez. So, technically Maurice wasn't supposed to be here if you were ranking wrestlers. So,
and they do. So he's shown a lot of heart to get to the finals, and really is doing a good job. This is by no means a blowout. We've got 35 seconds to go in the second period. Eastman on top and maintaining controls. Maurice trying to break the hands and get free. Doesn't quite make it.
Good lift and arch to take Maurice back to the mat. Eastman seems to be a little bit better on the technical side, knowing more moves here, which has seemed to frustrating.
Yeah, almost equal. I think in strength and power, they're just about dead even, but I agree with you. I think Eastman's just got a little more know-how.
That's going to be the end of the second period with a score of 9-3 for Joe Eastman over Maurice Salinas. We've got 2 minutes of action left in this one, and Salinas has a ways to go here if we're going to close the gap.
We've talked about it before. You think of wrestling, and you're talking 3 2-minute periods, which seem relatively brief, but you are, because of the requirement of the sport, out there for 2 minutes going at your utmost exertion level. It is really draining, and every once in a while you see it, and you saw Eastman there catching his breath at the end of the second period, and it reminded me of that.
They're in tremendous conditioning. If you want to see what it's like, I would say, well, maybe I shouldn't say this, but just start doing jumping jacks for 2 minutes, and then stop, and start it again, and then stop, start it again, and you'll begin to see real quickly how wear and tear that is.
Gary, let me ask you, you were a state champion. We're back in Virginia, is that correct?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Close.
No, it wasn't.
I was going to ask you, when did you decide that, I assume in high school or maybe before, that wrestling was what you really enjoyed doing and went on to state from there?
I was fortunate enough to get it in junior high. So junior high is where I got into wrestling in the 7th grade. They now have it in elementary schools. So
it really is one of those sports that young kids can do, and you don't have to worry about injuries as you would in a heavy contact sport like wrestling. It's a good way to get kids started. Our score is 11-4, by the way, as Eastman continues to pull away. 1:16 remaining in the third period.
I tell you, wrestling is a great conditioning, and it's a great self-confidence builder. Even though you don't think of it as a sport like karate and jiu-jitsu, but it's tremendous self-defense. I mean, you learned a lot of skills to use opponent's weight and actions against them.
Well, and particularly for smaller individuals, people who aren't going to be football players, for example, or 7-foot basketball players, it really gives them an opportunity to excel at something and then beat the heck out of the football players and the wrestlers, or the basketball players.
And the other thing, it's not only an individual sport, but it's also a team sport. Each member is a weight class within a school team, so it's like here, they're all individually they're out there, but they're winning points for their school.
And the team thing is a big deal with these guys. 11-5, 51 seconds to go as Eastman continues to maintain control in this match. The action, the cheering you're hearing in the background, it's a 2-2 match over on the 4A side. We'll bring you up to date on that after this one concludes.
And here we go as Eastman has him in position. 2 points awarded.
Right.
And 3 more for a near fall.
Salinas is trying. He's shooting. He's doing everything he can, and sometimes you never know.
30 seconds left to go. 15-5, a 10-point margin. And the cheering you're hearing
Congratulations to the state champion,
in the 160-pound class.
Bush from Palmer.
From Palmer, John Bush, watching now in the closing moments, 15-5. Joe Eastman leading Maurice Salinas.
That 4A match was tied up 2-2 until the final seconds when a 2 points was awarded and the title with it.
They upset one of Zach Riley, one of the Riley brothers from Skyview, so it was a big upset there. Brother to Levi Riley coming up in the next weight class.
And 2 seconds left, another 2 points awarded. That's going to make it a 17-6 final for Joe Eastman from Seward in the 160-pound class, defeating Maurice Salinas of Isleson. Our coverage of the ASAA First National Bank State High School Wrestling Championships will continue.
If you need commercial or retail space for your business, call the commercial real estate specialists at Tom Roberts Realty. They have many great locations available in a variety of price ranges. If you want to lease, buy, or sell business property, call Tom or Chad Roberts at Tom Roberts Realty.
PTI Communications is proud to bring you high school wrestling and to provide local phone service to over 70 Alaskan communities statewide, including North Pole, Fort Wainwright, and Eielson Air Force Base. PTI offers a wide variety of products and services from custom calling features such as call waiting to PTI's WireGuard, which protects you from the costs associated with inside wiring repairs in your home. Hey PTI for all your telecommunication needs. Call PTI today at 1-800-478-7121.
The members of the Education Support Staff Association are committed to providing a positive learning environment in our schools. Every day, members of the Education Support Staff Association are working to provide conditions that promote learning and help our youth prepare for the challenges of a quickly changing future. On the playing field, Education Support Staff members are teaching sportsmanship, teamwork, and goal setting. The Education Support Staff Association, working today for a better tomorrow, and happy to help provide coverage of youth sports on AM 970, the news station.
Gold Painter Chevron's a place to go for friendly, old-fashioned service. But that doesn't mean that they're not state-of-the-art for automotive technology. From computerized engine diagnostics and wheel balancing to full-service and self-service gas, including 24-hour credit card service. The place to stop is Gold Painter Chevron. They've also got Atlas tires and batteries, all the automotive accessories you'll need, and some of the nicest people in town. Don't forget towing. When you need it moved, call Gold Painter Chevron. At the corner of 8th and Cushman, it's Gold Painter Chevron.
If you need commercial or retail space for your business, call the commercial real estate specialists at Tom Roberts Realty. They have many great locations available in a variety of price ranges. If you want to lease, buy, or sell business property, call Tom or Chad Roberts at Tom Roberts Realty.
And we're back at the Carlson Center as wrestling continues in the ASAA First National Bank State Championship. We're up to 171 pounds. Our next featured local wrestler coming at 189. Justin Binder from Lathrop will be looking for that match. In the meantime, with us is Steve Wolf. Steve, you're with the Coaches Association. You're also involved with the Hall of Fame. We heard you speak a little bit before the tournament got underway this evening, but there is something that's different that you're concerned about this year.
Yeah, we're really concerned about the decision that ASAA has made concerning wrestling.
they have decided that the seasons would be better in all sports if they put wrestling in the fall, and well, actually they wanted to extend basketball season but put it in the spring, and so they moved wrestling in the fall, which we didn't feel real happy about. But the thing that we really feel unhappy about is they're splitting the seasons so that 4A wrestling goes on at a different time as 1A, 2A, 3A. The state tournaments are at different times, and there's only a 3-week overlap, so they don't even get to wrestle each other.
The big loss being, I assume, in areas where you would have somebody outside of the Anchorage area playing in Anchorage school, or someone, Eielson, for example, taking on one of the Lathrop areas. You're not going to see that competition any longer.
Well, yeah, and it makes it much more expensive for travel. For example, we have had a 30-year, down at Homer, we've had a 30-year tradition of wrestling Seward. We no longer can wrestle Seward, or put them in our schedule. Other small schools like Nanilchik and Nikiski that we traditionally wrestle, we won't be able to wrestle anymore. And so that means that the closest school that we can wrestle is 80 miles away.
The other thing that comes to mind is a lot of wrestlers were football players when I was wrestling. Not as often did you see a basketball player be a wrestler. I would assume you're going to lose some kids that have been involved in the program before.
Well, that may be. The problem is, big problem is that we're not going to have too much problem with that. It's a problem with whether or not the football players, having bulked up to play football, suddenly step 2 days later into wrestling and try to lose all the weight, and that's
something we'll try to avoid. This weight cutting thing used to be a problem, and we don't want to see it. All right, if people out there are concerned about this and want to let their voice be heard, how do they do it, Steve?
Well, the best thing to do is to call the ASAA office and express their concern. That's 563-3723, or they can email ASAA, ASAA at alaska.net, and express their concern. We think that this is especially going to be devastating in small areas. Like in Southeast, the small schools can't wrestle any large schools, and now the large schools are only 3 large schools in Southeast, and they have a 3-month season where they can only wrestle 3 other schools.
We always continue to battle the geography, and this is another one of those, and it's important that whether you feel pro or con, let people know about it, this and other issues.
Yeah. We feel that we've had a situation here with all sports the last 15 years in this our 4-sport season, which has been not only acceptable but admirable. And then for them to change it just like they did is, we feel irresponsible, especially since they ignored input from the wrestling community on this.
All right, we appreciate it, Steve. Thanks for letting us know about it, and we will keep you posted on the news station as that moves along.
Thank you very much.
All right, in the meantime, we'll head back to wrestling here. Lowell, you've got action. Which side are you focusing on?
Actually, right now we're on the 4A side. We're going to switch over to the 3A side right now, where we have a John Groundwater from Valdez.
Travis, defending state champion, Lowell, in this weight class.
And riding well, and Gary, you're going to have to help me out as to we can identify these wrestlers. And
the blue and white is Anchorage Christian School, ACS. Blue and white, or the red leg band. And the John Groundwater from Valdez is in the black uniform on the 3A side.
And of course, coming up next, we will mention in the 189-pound class, Justin Binder of Lathrop, and we'll be keeping a close eye on that match in the 4A.
All right, in the meantime, on the 4A side right now, it's the 171-pound class. The score is 3-1, and currently that's Jack Wade from Palmer that's leading this match. We had a quick timeout for a little nosebleed. We've seen several of those this evening.
They get a 5-minute injury timeout for nosebleed, so it's a little bit longer.
And we're back to wrestling. Our score again 3-1, and another Skyview wrestler doing it out here for the state championship. You can see why this team is so in control of the team scoring.
Right, we saw his brother in the earlier match. So Levi Riley from Skyview is the defending state champ also. So He's the one with the mohawk haircut.
Coaches, don't forget
Team spirit.
your Coach of the Year balance and your...
I love it.
And the bad hair day, but it's nice for them. Hey, they're kids. You got to enjoy it while you can. 3-1 our score. 30 seconds remaining. We're in 4A, 171-pound state wrestling championship.
And over on the 3A side, action here with a 2-1 lead for Travis Drake of ACS over John Groundwater of Valdez. As Drake came all the way, drawing a bye in the first round into this championship series this evening. As they go off the mat with a minute 40 left, 3-1, and the Travis Drake extends his lead by 1 here in the 3A. Again, with 23 seconds left in the 4A, still a 3-1 match, and now a timeout on both mats. We're going to get action underway again in the 4A.
Score's the same, 3-1. We've got 20 seconds remaining in the second period. Both wrestlers up, shooting for a takedown. They look aggressive. They look like they're into this thing, and they seem to have lots of strength and energy. As we wrap up the second period, the third one's going to be a barn burner the way these guys are going. There's a throw.
You know, last week...
We got points.
Yep, last week Jack Wade defeated Levi in the Region 3, 5-3.
We are up. We got shoulder points and takedown points out of that. That makes it 7-1 is our score.
Last night, Jack Wade scored a technical fall against Eric Alvarez of Kodiak, 20-5. So Jack Wade is coming on strong tonight.
Tough wrestling going on the 4A side. We're about to start the third period over here.
Yeah, trying to stand up and started a little early. Levi did.
Timing, touch, control, it's all a factor here as we watch wrestling.
You try to beat the referee's whistle. You try to anticipate exactly when he's going to blow it, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
And they got a clean start that time. Immediately up.
Yep, Levi tries to rise up on his base. Jack Wade not having it. Lifts him and puts him back to the mat. Applies pressure to him.
Jack's up a little high, but wraps around back and gets a leg again.
But he's got some good posts against Levi. He's in control.
And Levi not working quite as hard as you would expect, considering the difference in point score at this stage.
Well, he's trying. Jack Wade from Palmer is doing an excellent job.
And scoring on the 3A side, now a 7-2 lead for Travis Drake of Anchorage Christian over John Groundwater of Valdez. And getting up very, very slow right now is Travis Drake.
Travis leading in that match, isn't he? 7-2, isn't he?
7-2.
And he's taking the top position.
37 seconds left in our 3A match and a minute 21 left in our 4A match. And again, Drake on top and just running Groundwater all the way out of bounds in the 3A. Let's go back to action on the 4A.
Wade released Riley, gave him 1 point on the escape. That makes it 7-2 over here. Both wrestlers up. We've got just over a minute to go.
Yeah, your comment about Jack Wade slowing down earlier, they did call Jack for stalling. Darrell Borland did from Fairbanks. Darrell's a state champion and a official for a long time in the Fairbanks.
I was going to say, he must have been doing this for about 8 years now, at least as long as I've been around high school wrestling in this area. Good official. We're up in neutral. 48 seconds to go. 7-2 is the score.
And over on the 3A side, a near pin and a near upset on the Travis from ACS, but it looks like he's going to be able to hold it off with only 5 seconds left. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's your match. And Travis Drake from Anchorage Christian will win in the 171-pound class.
Just a hair's breadth away from losing. That shows you how it goes out here. 7-2, still the score on the 4A side with 35 seconds remaining. Jack Wade from Palmer is our leader. We're just a few seconds away from our final local interior wrestler, Justin Binder from Lathrop at 189. We're going to be looking forward to that one. He was tough the last time we saw him wrestle.
He's, as we said, very smooth. We're hoping he'll carry the banner for Lathrop tonight, going against Chad Benson next, also from Skyview.
And a good kid, another multi-sporter. He was out for football and wrestles and just active and involved. And It shows. We've got 12 seconds to go. Wade in control. 7-2 is the score as they work toward the edge once again. We'll get a restart. 9 seconds remaining in this one.
You know if Justin's a senior?
I was thinking Justin was a junior, but I wish I knew for sure. Maybe we can find out here in the next couple seconds. You lose track of the years. It's a sign of age, Gary. I'm sorry. I can hardly tell how old I am anymore.
I mean, I thought he looked
71 pounds.
better, slimmer this year.
Congratulations to the
7-2 is the final score. Jack Wade from Palmer is the state champion at 171 pounds. We're moving on to 189 and looking for Justin Binder from the Malamutes.
That's right, Binder from Malamute taking on Chad Benson from Skyview. Chad Benson beating Jason Benny out of Catchcan. And Justin Binder, of course, coming all the way through his class. Beating Jason Hughes of Skyview in the first round, Shane Priestler of West Anchorage in the second round, Ron Swinson of Wasilla in the third round.
And we're getting ready to go. The wrestlers checking in over at the table, headed out to the match. You're right, Justin does look, I think, a little fitter this year than he did last time. You can see the muscle development and cuts he has, and he was a factor for the Malamute football team. Good kid, real nice kid.
What an excellent physique, huh?
Yeah.
That's the 189 pound
envious
class.
of that, yeah. That's where I used to wrestle, and don't look quite that way anymore, but we'll leave that topic and move on to how this match is going to go. Justin's off.
Of course, Justin's coming off the District 1 4A championship last week and won last night over Lamont Swinson of Wasilla, 8-5 decision Lamont. And going against Chad, also won a decision last night over Jason Benny from Ketchikan. So
another Skyview wrestler from that outstanding team down there. In tight, Justin's got a leg. Pulls it in, tries to trip him. Working for control. He's got it. He's around behind. There's the points.
2-point takedown. Good move. Flew it all the way.
And they're off. Work to the edge of the mat. They'll go back to the center. Binder up 2-0.
Yeah, Justin constantly moving. Constantly moving from side to side. Real foot. Oh, some blood there. They'll stop the match.
This is
get it controlled.
There's a number of reasons you see all these nosebleeds in wrestling, but I think the primary one is that when you're fighting for these takedowns, when you're wrapping the arms across the face, the nose is just an obstruction. It's an obtrusion in the way.
And, this is a drier climate where may tend to bleed a little bit quicker than lower latitudes.
Do I hear a commercial for Breathe Right coming on?
Hey, we can work it in up here. Okay. It does happen a lot in wrestling, though, and I think that all plays into it. It happens wherever you see wrestling. It's just part of the game.
Tough match on the 3A side. It's 3-3 with Kirk Johnson.
Yeah, of ACS and Bill Glenn of Nikiski. And they're tied at 3 apiece right now.
Of course, we're concentrating on Justin, see if we can get that blood stopped. And I'm wondering, when you have a nosebleed, it never really, I never had that happen to me, but I wonder how it controls breathing.
Well, often you'll see the first aid treatment is to insert some cotton up there, and it does. It's got to slow you down. It's got to.
Then he's got to breathe through the mouth, and oxygen is so critical to get that energy and metabolism to.
Looks like we're ready to go again.
And you can see that's how they treated it here. He's got a wad of gauze up there, and going to have to deal with it as the match goes along. 1:21 to go. We're still in the first period.
Yeah, Skyview in the black with the gets a quick escape. He just shot out there and got it. It's 3-1 now. Lathrop leading by 1.
And Benson really tough on the leg. Binder counters it well, though.
Yeah, good counter by Justin to pop that leg, keep it straight, put it between the Skyview opponent, Chad, and Chad couldn't get the takedown.
2-1. We're up in neutral.
Sometimes it's amazing the moves come so quick. There'll be 3 or 4 different.
Yeah, you can't call them individually because they happen that rapidly. Binder's got a timeout here. I think this one's an equipment timeout. He was having trouble with his helmet, and they're going to repack that nose a little bit.
Yeah, I know that nose gauze was bothering him. He's just.
Everything appears to be okay. The nose gauze is gone, and Binder's out here and ready to wrestle with 53 seconds left in the first period.
I like Justin's stance. It's really, he's got good balance, good posture.
You can see all that head slapping that's going on out there, which contributes to some of those nose problems we were talking about. Just trying to distract your opponent so you can get a move in and get a hold of something quick. Binder's in on the leg.
Yeah, Binder's in. Good counter, though, by Chad Benson from Skyview. He's not giving way. It's just a 1-point lead. Close match, huh?
Physically, these kids really look just about equal. They're both strong, powerful young men. We're at 189 pounds. This is good-sized guys, and skill level, based on the score right now, you got to say is about equal.
Yeah, well, Chad was the Region 3 champ last week. He defeated Swinson, Lamont Swinson, and that's who Justin defeated last night. Chad defeated Swinson 8-5. Justin defeated Swinson last night 8-5, and Chad defeated him last week 6-5. So I'm not surprised there's only a 1-point difference if you kind of compare.
That would make one believe these guys are about at the same level. We're going to start the second period with Justin Binder down and Chad Benson on top trying for control. Almost work to the back. We're going to have back points awarded. Justin trying to get out of it, and he does. He works back to his base.
2 points.
Loses 2 on that one.
Justin just got caught.
3-2 is our score.
Granby roll.
Didn't work. He's up, but not released. If he can break the hands, he'll get the escape point, which will tie it up.
Right, Chad stayed right with him now.
Should have gotten the point there.
Oh, he withered him down, hit him. There's one.
Now they're going to give the point. Finally, that ties it up 3-3.
Good match, huh?
Good match.
A lot of good throws, a lot of good counters. One wrestler will throw the other, and the other will just use that momentum and follow right through and end up in a neutral position.
And Justin's move to his back was really just a brief momentary break, and he was on his back, and that's what's going to happen with this thing.
Right, Chad. Chad seems to be a great defensive wrestler.
Button heads, you see a lot of that in wrestling. Again, it's a psychological distraction sort of thing.
Now, you talked about both wrestlers' physique. Now, Chad from Skyview, he's a star quarterback for Skyview for their football team. So he's a multi-letter athlete from Skyview. Now, the other thing I would say, I don't know if you heard in the introductions tonight, but wrestler after wrestler had a high scholastic average. They were all 3.68, 3.88.
That is another thing. You don't see dummies wrestling. Very few dummies wrestling.
No, it's an intelligent sport.
It is. Benson in on the leg. Work to the edge of the mat. No points. We're going to go back to neutral.
Good, solid action tonight in the 4A mat.
16 seconds remaining in the second period. We're all tied up. 3-3. Justin Binder from Lathrop.
Now I'm starting to get nervous.
Guarantee you Tom Ritchie is.
Got that leg.
We're going to get points.
Yes.
I can't believe they didn't award points there.
Well, 5-3.
We did get points.
Did get 5-3. That was a good takedown.
There we go. 5-3. We picked up the
solid
takedown
control.
points.
And real quickly on this break on the 3A side, we'll bring you up to date. Bill Glenn from the Kiski have been trailing through most of the match. Now leads Kirk Johnston of Anchorage Christian by a score of 8-7 with a minute and 24 seconds left. And there's also a timeout on the 3A mat.
Glenn leads by 1 point. Is that right? McKiskey leads by 1 in the 3A.
McKiskey leads by 1.
You know, right. Glenn won last week over Johnson from ACS in the regional. So this is a rematch of the regional final.
And until just about 15 seconds ago, again, Johnston was ahead of Glenn. So this is a good match going on the 3A side. And, of course, you've got an excellent match on this side with Binder up by 2 with, what have we got left? We are in the second period with 5 seconds left.
And we're trying to sort out all the talk that was going on while Justin was getting his nose patched. Both coaches over talking to the officials. No change in the score, but they're lobbying for something out there.
Yeah, Skyview doing a good job. You know, they never won a state title, and they got 8 wrestlers tonight, so...
heck of a coach.
Yeah, well, Coach Melvin Gardner was Coach of the Year for the regional, so he's probably up for the Coach of the Year
I'm sure he is.
If McKiskey
Good job.
doesn't take it.
Tell me coaching doesn't make a difference.
Oh, it does. And it's a bond, a lifelong bond.
It really is with these kids. Time runs out in the second period. 5-3 is our score. Benson from Skyview.
All right, let's just finish our 3A match real fast, and I was going to finish it real fast, and then we didn't get the action going, but it's still 9-7 McKiskey leads. Back to the 4A action.
All right, Benson from Skyview is down by 2 is what I was going to say. As we get things started in the third period.
Justin's still in control.
2 points up. They work quickly to the edge of the mat. They'll restart. I don't think fatigue is a factor here in either one of these wrestlers. They both look fresh. Justin gasping just a little bit more, but I think that's more due to the nasal form he's got.
And in the background, you can hear Kip Harmon as Bill Green from McKiskey wins the championship in the 3A.
Upset over there.
All right, back on our 4A mat.
Not an upset.
Justin's trying to roll him, working for some back points. Got him on a shoulder. He's going to get something out of this one. There it is. Got 2 points coming.
Got a little loud in here, didn't it?
Tell there's some hometown fans down here at the Carlson Center tonight. 1:25 to go. They'll wait to award back points until this move is over. Justin getting down lower. We're just about out of this position.
Should extend his
let him work at it a little longer.
He's got those legs locked in there.
He's close.
Kind of got a Turk on his legs.
Tied up right. Worked him back.
Split second that ref was going to call a pin.
Benson worked shot up out of there. Still can't get away from it. And you can't believe how draining this is when you're on the bottom and trying to work away from your shoulders. I think that's the most exhausting thing you can do in wrestling. After the back points, it's now 8-3. Justin's in control.
Right. Interesting move right there. Sort of, not even sure if it was part cradle.
Some sort of weird roll through something.
But you know, Justin hasn't stopped being aggressive this whole match. Not that Chad hasn't tried to counter.
Chad's looking tired though. We got 15 seconds left to go. Still trying the moves, but he's not going anywhere. Justin, I think, is content now to ride it out. He's got an 8-3 lead. 8 seconds to go. We may get back points again here.
Elevates that hip, puts him back on his back again.
Yep. 1 second.
Solid win by Justin.
Points. He picks up 2 more for that. 10-3, your final score. Justin Binder, state champion from Lathrop.
And our coverage of the ASAA First National Bank State High School Wrestling Championship will continue.
If you just can't understand kids these days, thank their teachers. Because unlike most schools in the lower 48, children in the Alaska school system have the option to learn his or her choice of 7 different foreign languages, starting as early as the 1st grade. So promise your kids the world. We'll prepare them for it.
The members of the Fairbanks Education Association care about the total educational experience. In our schools, members of the FEA are teaching your children the skills they need to compete in a changing world. On the playing field, Fairbanks Educational Association members are teaching teamwork, leadership, and discipline. The FEA encourages you to become part of the process. Join PTSA. Help your school's booster club. Work with your children. Today's educational experience determines our future success.
Oil is the lifeblood of your engine. It's the fluid that keeps it all going. And that makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. Fram is pleased to announce a new oil filter to give your engine the best protection ever. The new Fram Extra Guard. A new glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter. The Fram Extra Guard removes even the smallest particles that can endanger the health of your engine. Pick up a Fram Extra Guard oil filter today at Power and Transmission, 711 Van Horn Road.
Le filet, par-dessus le toit, ciblé.
Yes. And what is more than all these boasts can be?
Because we believe in Alaska's future, we're committed to Alaska's youth. First National Bank proudly sponsors the Alaska School Activities Association.
And back once again at the Carlson Center in the 3A match, Mike Olson from Nome and Sevi Redemail from Barrow. And let's go over to the 4A action right now with Brad and Gary.
No local wrestlers in this one, but one of the matches we've been looking forward to. Jason Cooley from Service, James Price from West. These are two tough guys. Tell us the focus here is on Cooley, Gary.
Well, Cooley is one of the premier wrestlers from Service. He finished third a few weeks ago in the Senior Nationals at 215, winning 5 of 6 matches. And of course, he's a defending state champion. He's in the green, Jason Cooley. And interesting.
Gary, if I can interrupt for just a minute, a fast pin by Mike Olson of Nome, beating the Barrow wrestler, and we're done in the 215 class on the 3A side.
That is more than a fast pin. That was over about 10 seconds into that match.
Now, even though Jason is an outstanding wrestler, don't be surprised to see this match somewhat close because James Price is an excellent wrestler. Now, they met last week in the regional finals, and Jason pulled off a 6-0 defeat. So James Price is an excellent wrestler, but again, Jason Cooley brings in a lot of credentials. 4-time regional champion for Service, defending state champion. Ranked 3 in the nations, folks, the young man in the green out there.
A good wrestler. We're also up to the, this is the weight class, this one and the next one, where body size really plays a factor. Even if you're an outstanding wrestler, it's tough to move an opponent around when he weighs 215 pounds or better.
It is, and if you look at Jason Cooley's build, he's built like a small wrestler. I mean, he's so compact, it's no body fat there, you think?
Yeah, nothing against Mr. Price from West Anchorage, because that really is a standard form, and he's in good condition. But Cooley is, he doesn't have any body fat. We're not talking about body fat with Cooley.
No, again, it's going to be easy to think, James Price from West is an excellent wrestler. He won last night, defeated Travis Lucy from East to get in here 10-8, and so it's just going to be fun to sit back and just watch Jason try to...
While we've been giving you background, we've got points out there, by the way. Cooley's now up 4-0 in this thing. We've got 1 minute and 26 seconds left to go in the second period.
Yeah, not too much that Price can throw at Cooley that Cooley hasn't seen in practice on counters. So
this is one of those examples of what we were talking about, too, Gary. Cooley hasn't slowed down from the second he came on the mat. He's working up, he's working down, he's all over out there.
All in the newspaper articles and interviews all week and last week from Anchorage. Cooley is just the picture of intenseness. He can't wait to start that match.
He's going to end up someplace. It'll be interesting to see where. Iowa, of course, repeated as the NC2A champions this year. Just had to work that in here.
Yeah, that was a flake.
Yeah.
I don't think North Carolina even showed up. No, I also broke the all-time school record in the collegiate.
Really?
Yeah, that was they weren't expecting it, and Iowa broke the all-time school record with the largest lead.
Outstanding program they developed down there.
Now I know Jason would love to go to Iowa. He's looking at Oregon. I know Oregon has some scouts up here scouting Jason. He could very well be. He could very well go to Oregon and wrestle.
You got some real interesting programs developing around the country now. You're seeing tough wrestling you have for some time in Oklahoma. Iowa, of course, is always tough. A lot of schools are getting much more intense about wrestling, and it's really contributing to the competitive level out there.
Well, a lot of schools have their eye on Alaskan wrestlers, too, because they do very well for themselves when they go outside to wrestle. Of course, we don't have a collegiate wrestling in Alaska, but they do very well for themselves. Of course,
Cooley continuing to ride out. We're just about to the end of the second. There it is. 4-0 is our score. Cooley from Service in control and just working constantly to try and do something with Price, but not having any luck.
Right. Well, Price has already been called for stalling. Price's strategy here is to just not do something dumb. He doesn't want to get pinned. He's absolutely exhausted if you look at him. And again, I want to emphasize, Price is a good wrestler. I mean, he's here in the finals.
And it's unusual to see a wrestler come out from the bottom position and be that tired. Normally, down there, you've got a chance to catch your breath a little bit, and he sure didn't during that last period. We picked up a point. Cooley immediately escaped or was released.
Now
He's out of 5-0 now.
7-0, got a quick takedown. Price
Just
wanted to let him up, didn't want to have anything to do with him, because it's dangerous. You know, if I had to wrestle Cooley, you just got to be smart on the moves, and that was Price didn't want to be close to him and be caught in a pinning combination. So, again, you might expect third in the Nationals just to tear his opponent up, but Price is trying to wrestle a smart match.
And again, you got to remember the weight size, 215 pounds. These guys are big kids.
Yep. See, Price tried to roll Cooley, and Cooley countered with a half Nelson, and almost caught Price on his back. And Cooley hasn't stopped since that whistle's blown.
Price is trying to work up to his 4 points, but just really doesn't get a chance. He gets a third point up and is immediately broken down by Cooley. Back to the edge of the mat, so they'll start over one more time in the center. 1:11 left in the third period.
Good write-up in the paper on Cooley's coach, Mark Stiller. They we're talking about bonding, and Mark is assist services wrestling team, and they wrestle together all the time. So that's one of the things you see, and you see it in our coaches up here with Tom Ritchie and Eielson. And
just saw Vision Quest last week, by the way, talking about that kind of thing. Remember
that was good. That was a good movie.
Good movie.
Vision Quest is a wrestling movie.
It is.
I can't think of the young actor's name that was in it, but they did a great. It was very realistic.
It really was. It was one of the best non-pro wrestling crap kind of things that I've seen. This one was really good. If you get a chance, check it out. 9-1's our score. 41 seconds left to go in this period.
Got Jason in complete control, leading 9-1. Price just what Price is trying to do is actually not get pinned. I mean, that's his strategy.
And that's an accomplishment coming out against certain wrestlers. It really is.
Sometimes when your opponent is so superior, your strategy is he's not going to pin me, and you have a victory. Even though you might have lost the match, it's a victory in and of itself.
Well, and let's not forget that Price comes out of the second best in the state of Alaska, and that's nothing to sneeze at. So he's, as we've been saying, he's a good wrestler. He's just overmatched in this case. We got 12 seconds left, and we've got a score of 10-1 in favor of Mr. Cooley, as he shows you why he's third in the country.
Right, won 5 of 6 matches in Pennsylvania a couple of weeks back.
Jeez, he moves. This kid has not been still. He really epitomizes that goal of constant movement out there.
And
10-1. Jason Cooley from Service, the state champion at 215 pounds.
And before we get to our 275-pound match, we would like to remind you to support the sponsors that you're seeing on your screen: the Education Support Staff Association, the Fairbanks Education Association, Warren and McCool at Goldpanner Chevron Service Incorporated, also Northern Schools Federal Credit Union, Power and Transmission, PTI Communications, and Tom Roberts Realty. Brad?
You do that so well. We're up to our final match of the evening. This used to be heavyweight. They now cut it off at 275. We'll talk about that a little bit as we have time. On the 4A side, we're going to be seeing Charles Holstead from Chugiak and Thomas Tomasi Kangike from West Anchorage. In the meantime, 3A is underway.
We've got Josh St. Clair of Wrangell,
defending state champ.
Kotzebue. And again, as Gary said, Josh St. Clair, the defending state championship, and this in the heavyweight division, the 275. Let's check the action, just getting ready to get underway on the 4A here in just a second or two, as we'll watch our 2 wrestlers from Wrangell and Kotzebue go at it. Here's we're ready to go on the 4A mat. Let's switch over there now.
And we are about to begin. West is in the black tunic, and Charles Holstead from Chugiak, our other wrestler, we're at the top size. We're the biggest of the big.
Thomas Kangike from West against Charles Halstead. Now Halstead defeated Kangike last week, just 5-1 in that regional matchup. So Charles is still the favorite. Now Charles moved up to heavyweight so he wouldn't have to wrestle 215 Jason Cooley in the lower weight. So that strategy is proving well for Charles.
I was going to say a good plan from what I saw of Cooley there. So.
Yep.
We got no points. Seldom see a lot of big pinning combinations or speed out here. This is strictly power. Finesse and skill does come into play, but it's not as much as in the lower weights. Back on 3A.
And a couple of points just awarded as Josh St. Clair from Wrangell able to with a reversal on Mike Moore and almost got him into a pinning position. Moore from Kotzebue able to slip out at the last second. And again, as Brad said, not much scoring here. We've got 2-0, 20 seconds left to go in the first period on our 3A match.
I got to say, I appreciate ASAA and FEA sponsoring the tournament tonight, since my wife, Susan Annis, was past president of ASAA and now vice president of the state association. So I'm glad to see that support of our
well, they're good people, and they have been behind our broadcasts of this sport and other sports for years, and
teachers and support staff, need them both.
Yep, they get out there and do the job. A lot of them, actually, ASAA, I think, surprises me more than the teachers, but a lot of the people who are working behind the scenes at schools are also out there coaching and getting involved in the extramural activities, and they're great folks, and we do appreciate the fact that they're with us this year. We got 29 seconds left to go in the first period. No score on the 4A side as we face off with the big guy.
Yeah, I think Kangaica was kind of a preseason favorite until getting into the regional match, so he's holding his own tonight.
Hanover on the 3A side as we get set for action to begin the second period. Still 2-0 with the defending champ Josh St. Clair of Wrangell leading, as Mike Moore from Kotzebue, he's a big fella. Do they have to max out at 275, or can they go higher?
No, 275 is it. They got to be 275 or less. That's what we were. I was trying to remember that name earlier, Gary. It was Chris Taylor out of Iowa State, who was the last really big, huge powerhouse. And they just don't want it. It's unhealthy to carry that much weight.
And Moore has St. Clair on his back, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Mike Moore from Kotzebue. Ranked number 2 coming in to the season.
Going to give him 3 points for a near pin, and now the wrestler from Kotzebue, Mike Moore, leads the defending champion by a score of 5-4 with 1:15 left to go in the third period of action. Still working on Josh St. Clair of Wrangell.
Josh looks tired. He looks very tired. We'll see if there's some quickness left. Mike Moore not doing pretty good, holding him down and trying to work a pin.
Less than a minute now left to go in the second period, and again a 1-point lead in our 3A match, and it's only 1-0 in the 4A. And over goes the wrestler from Kotzebue, and on a reversal, Josh St. Clair of Wrangell retakes the lead 6-5 in the 3A division.
Well, Mike Moore tried to underhook that arm and probably tried a pinning combination that wasn't one, and Josh just rolled through it and ended up 2 points to the good. Now he's got Mike Moore on his back. Mike Moore bridging out, trying to keep this match close. Oh, good cross face hard across the chin of Mike Moore.
15 seconds left to go here in the second period, 6-5. St. Clair leading Moore of Kotzebue.
That whistle blew in the 4A mat, and both wrestlers stopped in the 3A, so both of them stopped, looked up. Could have been dangerous.
We got 1-1, by the way, on the 4A side.
Let's go over to the 4A side now as the second period has ended with St. Clair leading Moore on the 3A side, 6-5.
Our points over on the 4A side, 1 from an escape and 1 from a stalling call, so we're all tied up at 1 with 1:05 remaining in the second period.
Close match tonight. Again, it was 5-1 last week with Charles Halstead in the blue from Chugiak winning that match, so I know Tomasai Kangaica is wanting a revenge match here, and it's 1-1.
Both wrestlers up. We work to the edge as a takedown shot. Out.
Close.
Just off the edge. Back to the middle we go.
Watch Halstead last night defeat Nick Hagee from service 9-5. Halstead looked good last night. And Tomasai did too, actually, defeating Dan Jones 6-1 from Sitka.
Hanover on the 3A side. Almost a pin here for Mike Moore from Kotzebue. He's got St. Clair down, looking for the pin. St. Clair trying to twist out of it here, and we're going to get 2 points on the reversal. And now leading the match is Mike Moore of Kotzebue by a score of 7-6. We have 1:20 left to go in our 3A competition.
Yeah,
10-6 now.
3 points near fall. Mike Moore is giving Josh St. Clair all he can handle with about a minute left to repeat as state champion.
Good place to remind you, by the way, as we wrap this thing up, we'll have complete results of the tournament for you on our website. We'll try to get those up in about an hour. That's at www.am970.com. Check it out there tonight. We'll have the championships and the individual titles for you.
Anyway, what I was going to say about 3 minutes ago when we started talking about this match is that she looks like an awful heavy 175 for Mike Moore.
275.
275. 275. Not 175.
No,
275.
Big guys.
Still looks like a big 275. And Moore still leading the match 10-6. Less than 30 seconds left to go. George is riding St. Clair on top now, holding him down.
Upset in the making here since Mike Moore was ranked number 2 going into the regionals, and Josh St. Clair, of course, ranked number 1. 10-6, 15 seconds to go. Mike Moore looks solid because Josh has been wrestling tired all night long.
We're still tied on 4A, by the way, 2-1 over here. We'll get back to that.
And once again, right at the end of the match, Moore will win it by a final score of 10-6. Mike Moore from Kotzebue, champion of the 275-pound class. Let's go back to 4A with 3 seconds left to go in the second period.
And it's still 2-1. We've got 3 seconds, as Lowell mentioned, and we got a tight match over here, Gary.
Yep, Charles leading. Charles Halstead leading from Chugiak, 2-1. 2 more minutes to go for one of these wrestlers.
And these guys both look tired.
We'll be finishing up another year together doing high school wrestling.
It just doesn't get much better than this. We'll have to see how the changes they were talking about affect things, but I still like this sort of setup with the 3A and the 4A going on at the same time. All these kids in one building. I just think it adds to the intensity and the fun, and the kids get a kick out of it.
Worked well this year. I agree. It was came off flawless this year.
We've got 1:47 to go. Score is 3-1. Halstead is our leader in the final match of the evening at the Carlson Center.
They might want to, consider wrestling together, but one match at a time, so each championship bout has its own focus. So.
I understand the move for basketball. That does make sense to adjust it more to the national schedules, but
1, 2, 3, table. Right. Your bout sheet immediately, please.
Haven't looked at the issue enough to know. We'll check that out some more for you. 119 remains.
3-1. Charles Halstead pulling away from Chugiak. Tomasai Kangaika looking worried.
3-2. We got a point.
Tomasai's breathing hard, too. You can see his mouth open. He's gasping for air. And this is when Charles gets kind of dangerous toward the end of the matches.
This is where the old push comes to shove. We've got just a minute to go, 1 point between these two guys, and we're going to determine the state championship.
Right. I hope Kangaika doesn't try to muscle Charles. Charles knows a lot of good defensive moves, and Tomasai could end up on his back real easily.
Can make silly mistakes in this kind of situation. We'll see how it plays out. They shoot in, not going anywhere.
You don't see many double leg takedowns in the heavyweight. Because the man sprawls and you got all 200+ pounds on your back, and it's heavy.
It ain't easy to get up from down there. Been in that position. Don't want to do it again.
It's heavy just carrying around an extra 40.
Tell me about it. Thanks for reminding me.
Yes.
44 seconds to go.
Is our table collapsing or what?
Yeah, possibly.
3-2 now, 1 point lead. Tomasai's gotten up. There's only 1 point difference, 35 seconds. Did he call stalling?
They did. Last point was a stalling point to tighten it up.
Now he's giving one back to Charles, so it's 4-2. Now it's untightened.
26 seconds, 2 points, that's all, just a takedown.
Double stall,
make a difference. Goodness, 5-2. You're right. Seen that in a while.
Tomasai, he's definitely winded. But I think he's fighting hard, just in his own style.
15 seconds to go. And we're going to wrap up the tournament with this match. Nikiski, as we mentioned earlier, was uncatchable on the 3A side. Just tremendously dominant in this tournament. Skyview pretty much the same on the 4A side.
Yeah, Nikiski bringing in 22 wrestlers to this meet.
Unreal.
So they just racked up the points.
That's it. That's our final match. We got a champion. Charles Halstead from Chugiak is the 275-pound champion tonight.
And our coverage of the ASAA First National Bank State High School Wrestling Championship continues.
what it would be like to be in a movie.
Other than that, I'm in good shape.
Box Office Video, where your movie adventures come true.
This is Jill and Jake. When it was time to pay the snow machine loan, they went to one place, but for a home loan, they had to go to another. And to save money, Jill stashed it in Jake's bed. Jake was getting tired of all those lumps, so he took Jill to Northern Schools Federal Credit Union. They have checking and savings accounts, home and auto loans, and a bunch of other services all in one place. Now Jill isn't running all over, and Jake's finally getting some sleep. Northern Schools Federal Credit Union, making life a little bit easier.
Bike.
Oh no! And back once again at the Carlson Center. Larry Purcell along with Brad Scott, Gary Ennis. We've got Tom Ritchie, Jason Binder with us right now, and Brad Scott. How's that interview, Brad?
And you can put those on if you want, or don't. Either way, congratulations, you guys. Good tournament. Justin particularly, what a job. You really worked hard out there.
Yeah, it was tough. Just wrestled as hard as I could, and things came out my way, so.
You haven't tried, has your nose been a problem all through the season, or was this just something that came up tonight?
Yeah, right nostril got popped, I think about the first tournament of the year, and it's just been bothering me, and just almost nothing to make it start bleeding again.
But you're not feeling it at all right now, I imagine.
Nope, got it stopped, and it's feeling good now.
Great. Toughest match tonight, or did you face somebody else in the tournament that was hard also?
This was definitely my hardest match of the tournament.
What was your strategy coming in? Did you know what you were going up against, Justin?
Yeah, I knew he would be quick on his feet, and I figured we'd probably wrestle most of the match on our feet, and that's the way it turned out, and I was able to just hold him off there on my feet, smash him a couple times, kept pulling my head out of my eyes, things turned out great.
Noticed a little cut across the bridge there, but you fought through it, did a heck of a job. We were trying to remember just now, senior or junior this year?
I'm a senior.
So we're going to lose you, unfortunately. I hate that, but congratulations on a state title. Way to go. Good job. Tom, you had a tournament that you did well at team-wise, but not maybe as much as you had hoped. What can you tell us about it overall, looking back now?
Well, I think we all hoped to be number one, but that wasn't there this year, and I can identify why, and that's a team thing. But we're really very pleased, and all of our kids that got down here and gave the best effort.
Lathrop program has come on so strong since you took over. You've done an excellent job. I always think of you focusing more on the lighter weights. It's nice to see you can handle it either side. Justin did an excellent job under your tutelage.
Well, I have a coaching staff that is, I couldn't pay people hundreds of thousands of dollars and get what I've got right now. And Mike Jameson primarily is got to be the best thing that's ever happened. Coaches. And to these kids, as far as coaching, whether it be on the mat or off.
You lose your voice pretty much every year about this time, don't you? This has kind of become a habit.
It happens, but I don't know. I guess that's me. I just go for it.
How's things looking for next year? You're going to lose Justin. How are you doing with graduation otherwise?
I think what is it, 7 seniors, Justin, and we may lose some other kids too because we're turning it up for next year. We're going to really reinforce what we stand for as far as our role here as being a good student and being good citizens. We're going to tighten it up.
Surprised, by the way, at the results. Skyview was really a dominant team. Did you expect them to be coming in? They've been ranked 1-2 pretty consistently throughout.
Absolutely, we did. Those guys are another example of doing things correctly. You can see that team doesn't wrestle. There's no selfish boys there. There's nobody that doesn't make weight on that team. There's nobody that, they had a real high GPA too, if I remember.
We talked about that. Very few dumb wrestlers out there on anybody's team.
But my hat's off to Nelson Gardner and his team. He's doing it right and building good citizens out of those kids is the number one focus.
And so are you guys. Justin, again, congratulations. And Tom, another great year of wrestling. We thank you. We look forward to it next season.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to wrap this thing up. What do we got left, Lowell?
Right, and we'll come back with a couple of final words with Brad and Gary. We'll do that when our coverage of the ASAA First National State High School Wrestling Championship continues.
Ladies and gentlemen.
If you need commercial or retail space for your business, call the commercial real estate specialists at Tom Roberts Realty. They have many great locations available in a variety of price ranges. If you want to lease, buy, or sell business property, call Tom or Chad Roberts at Tom Roberts Realty.
PTI Communications is proud to bring you high school wrestling and to provide local phone service to over 70 Alaskan communities statewide, including North Pole, Fort Wainwright, and Eielson Air Force Base. PTI offers a wide variety of products and services from custom calling features such as call waiting to PTI's WireGuard, which protects you from the costs associated with inside wiring repairs in your home. Think PTI for all your telecommunication needs. Call PTI today at 1-800-478-7121.
The members of the Education Support Staff Association are committed to providing a positive learning environment in our schools. Every day, members of the Education Support Staff Association are working to provide conditions that promote learning and help our youth prepare for the challenges of a quickly changing future. On the playing field, Education Support Staff members are teaching sportsmanship, teamwork, and goal setting. The Education Support Staff Association, working today for a better tomorrow, and happy to help provide coverage of youth sports on AM 970, the news station.
Gold Taylor Chevron's a place to go for friendly, old-fashioned service. But that doesn't mean that they're not state-of-the-art for automotive technology. From computerized engine diagnostics and wheel balancing to full service and self-service gas, including 24-hour credit card service. The place to stop is Gold Taylor Chevron. They've also got Atlas tires and batteries, all the automotive accessories you'll need, and some of the nicest people in town. Don't forget towing. When you need it moved, call Gold Taylor Chevron. At the corner of 8th and Cushman, it's Gold Taylor Chevron.
If you need commercial or retail space for your business, call the commercial real estate specialists at Tom Roberts Realty. They have many great locations available in a variety of price ranges. If you want to lease, buy, or sell business property, call Tom or Chad Roberts at Tom Roberts Realty.
And back once again at the Carlson Center as we get ready to wrap up. They will do an awards ceremony here momentarily, so we invite you to stay tuned for that. Couple of final thoughts. Actually, we're not going to have the awards ceremony. We're going to get out of here. Gary, great working with you again. I think this is our 5th or 6th year working the State High School Wrestling Championship. Great job once again, and you bring a lot of insight into this broadcast.
Well, it was good to see two winners out of Lathrop and Ben Kirk from Delta. Good job. Unfortunate losses by Hawkins from West Valley and Maury Salinas from Eielson, but
a lot of good wrestling.
Always next time. Always
a lot of good wrestling. It'll be interesting to see how it plays. Tom Ritchie really seems to be focused on bringing home a state title. That's one of the few goals he hasn't met yet. We'll be looking forward to seeing that next year. And we're seeing a nice balanced attack out of all our local teams. North Pole, Eielson, West Valley, everybody's bringing a few kids to the finals, and that's nice to see.
Right, sure is, and we'll get them next year.
We will, and we want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. It was a first ever event for us, a radio TV simulcast. I had a lot of fun doing it, Lowell.
It's been a lot of fun. Maybe we can do it again together, Brad. I look forward to it. Again, we'd like to thank all the people responsible. Just a second or two, you're going to see their names coming up on the screen. That's going to wrap it up for the Carlson Center. For Brad Scott and Gary Annis, I'm Lowell Purcell saying so long from the Carlson Center.
Cool. Way to go, guys.
Yeah.
Gary, thanks.
Okay. And 3.
That one went well.
Finisher from Nikiski, Jared Bowman.
Oh, you got it.
Third place, Valdez.